Hi and hello, everybody. We were supposed to start 1 minute ago at approximately 8 p.m., whatever time it is in the UK, at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Standard. But of course, James was late.
Uh, well, that was. I thought actually I was going to do the intro, but you've just leapt in there, and so I just wanted to say that any lateness was due to mic problems from my end, coming from my end. No, not coming from my end, but on my technical side, and so I can only apologise for that. But it wasn't, something that I did intentionally to be.
Established dominance.
No, a kind of, yeah, I wasn't trying to establish dominance or anything of that sort. It was, I can only express sorry, apologies to you and apologies to everyone watching as well. I'm sorry for that. So, on a more positive note, I just sent your profile on Facebook because I knew you'd be quite keen to see it, a review of the Robbie Williams documentary.
Yeah.
On Netflix, 2 out of 5 from the Guardian.
Oh.
So, yeah, well, I think as I said to you, I put on it. I think this is actually being generous. And,
so you've watched it then,
mate? Mate, I watched really enough to assess it. I think it's unfair of me to give a complete sort of rating if I've not watched each of the 4 episodes, which are coming at around 50 minutes or a bit under some of them. And so I think it, like one review was saying, that it's very polished in that it just omits parts of his career that he would rather sort of discard and forget about. And then that removes a lot of the fun of it. It's like if you're just going to basically make the whole thing polished and just too neat. I want to know about the three or four lost years where he put on weight between around 2007 to 2009 or so, or 2006 to that, when he became obsessed with UFOs and was agoraphobic. Because no, and he did. That's real. And they just all they do is sort of mention that he came out with this album called Rude Box, which he thought was good at the time, and he still insists that it was good within the documentary. I mean, there are clips of him saying it was good from the past, and there's no reassessment of it, actually thinking maybe it wasn't good, and that's why his fans didn't like it, for instance. I mean, if you're not going to be truthful, then I just find the whole thing, honestly, it's like it's produced by Ridley Scott Productions. It's obviously it's going out in America, right? Because it's Netflix. So this is a massive opportunity for Robbie Williams to, a last chance saloon type thing of basically, I want to have it hit in America somehow. And if there's a way of doing that, or at least, have some popularity there. And if there's a way of doing it, this is really about the most solid way he can do it, in terms of, yeah, you can imagine what I mean. But I think,
this is the problem with authorized biographies, right? The subject gets to approve and disapprove whatever they wish, and I haven't seen it, but based on what you're telling me, it sounds like that's what's happened.
When for instance, Rude Box is basically widely recognized as Robbie Williams' absolute nadir of his career, and like just a terrible album that he put out. Cut from the main single to, others on it. The main single is basically him rapping and saying, all these kind of ridiculous things like TK Maxx costs less, which is a shop, and Michael Jackson looks a mess, and all just rubbish lyrics, basically like that. And now we give a shit about him, Josh Backhouse, so just calm down, please.
Josh loves Robbie Williams. I mean,
yeah, more people care about Robbie Williams, let's be honest, than Fantomas or, Faith No More, frankly. That
Faith
is
No More. God.
I mean, so that is the actual truth.
Faith and War is for steers and queers, as they say.
What's the lead singer of Faith No More called? I forgot.
Johnny Butt Muncher.
Joshua figure. Mike Patton. Sorry, yeah. Like, Mike Patton would make a far more interesting documentary with 4 episodes, for instance, than Robbie Williams.
What?
Absolutely. Well, he would. I mean, because he's got about, 50 times more talent. There are scenes in it where various people in the British sort of pop scene, etc., and Joe Wiley, kind of radio DJs saying, his voice is thin, he's not a very good singer. Sophie Ellis-Bextor says that. I mean, you wouldn't even know who Sophie Ellis-Bextor is.
No.
So she's like, a British pop star. And she's actually apologized now and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Robbie, for that, what I said, because, it's very hurtful." And he's like, thank you. So many years later, my voice actually is crap. Yes, I appreciate it. But I don't think he's got a crap voice, but he's got a very, good, basically a good karaoke singing voice. He's not like a better voice.
I mean, it's got to be a little bit better than that for him to have had this much success in his life.
No, I don't really think so. When you're in the pop world, like nowadays, especially, they're not that bothered about people having like the most amazing voices. I mean, Ed Sheeran is massively popular, and I wouldn't say that his voice is anything remarkable.
Is that the guy who dresses like a gay devil all the time?
Yeah, the ginger head. Comes from Kevinstown. When I went there into the park in Ipswich, there was like some kind of exhibition of people's portraits of Ed Sheeran.
Is he always dressed in that gay devil outfit, or is that like a newer thing and people are just making a big deal about it?
Well, I think that's like the record company saying, we've got to do this kind of stuff because this is what the kids love nowadays. They love it on TikTok. I mean, it's just embarrassing, frankly, but he did it. He's young enough to get away with it, but you can't really be doing stuff like that when you're Robbie Williams' age. But then Robbie Williams now, he's been taking that drug that's for diabetic people, and it makes you lose weight. And
Ozempic or Wegovy or whatever?
Yeah, Ozempic. And he looks now, or another one of similar name, yeah. And he looks very gaunt now, I think. And he looks like he's lost too much weight.
According to people I know in the pharmaceutical industry, anybody with a few shekels in their pocket is taking that drug.
Yeah, but I think it's bad. It's a bad idea because, again, the problem with Robbie Williams is that he shatter he's got a certain degree of talent as an entertainer, but he just shat so much of it up against the wall by becoming a drug addict. And this is no different, really, even though it's like not classified as, the same as taking fentanyl or something. But so that's my main problem. Like the whole documentary just leaves a nasty taste in the mouth because of that aspect of it as well, the drugs. So it's.
Well, I have no intention of watching it, but I appreciate your honest review of the 10-15 minutes of it that you watched.
No, I actually watched like probably the whole of the first episode. Then I watched most of the third episode, and then all of the fourth episode. So
okay, that's pretty good.
That was enough, really, for someone who's not, a signed up a massive Robbie fan or anything. And the worst thing about it was I just felt like it didn't really show him in any positive light in particular. It's just like he's living this incredibly bland Hollywood life in this sort of faux mansion, sort of place like you saw the Osbournes living in. And then he just kept repeating like that now he's got 4 children and he's married. Maybe he'll find happiness in the future. It's just like he kept saying stuff like that. And I'm thinking like, well, if you've not found happiness already, what do you're not going to find it probably.
It's never too late to find happiness. Stop that. That's not. he can.
No, but I just don't like the way he keeps expressing it. He's basically saying, okay, I've cut down on, I've become sober. I'm now married and I've got 4 children. Therefore, I should be happy because this is what like management or somebody told me I should do. So it just feels really awkward. And there's this one scene where his daughter comes into the room where he's recording, and and then he kind of shushes her and then says, she brings in something to eat. I don't know if it's like some kind of chocolate ice cream or something. He says, "Did you bring this in because you knew I would say yes?" And he says, "I'll take that off you." And then she says, "How long are you going to be?" And he just says, "Okay, no, go, I can't say. Leave it. I've got to do this. Daddy's got to do this." And just shushes her out the room with no real, oh, I'll be finished in an hour and then we can do this or something. I mean, it just sounds like typical, nannies looking after the children.
Of course.
It's all fake. It's all performance. Like there's these scenes where he's going away and he was playing in London at the O2, which is a really big venue here in London. And what was the Millennium Dome? And then he just sets off from America and you just see him packing and stuff. And there's these stage scenes of him with his children hugging him and like the girl who I mentioned crying with glasses on and stuff. And not that the glasses is relevant actually, but it just left a sour taste in the mouth. Just didn't feel genuine for some reason. I can't. Just somehow the whole thing felt like a performance. And how he one of his first songs was like, "Let me entertain you." I just felt like everything about Robbie Williams now feels incredibly drab and unentertaining.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's a shame. Hey Ben, that's interesting for people who are into Robbie Williams to watch, though. But now they have your own.
Well, I know you're a big fan, but
I am. He's an interesting character. I appreciate the review. What you should have watched is.
Can I just say, Ben, if your phone is not properly charged or something, I'm just going to mute you if you can't sort your sound problem out.
It's clicking a lot.
The sound
like
is
a record.
It's
like a needle scratch on the record for some reason. Maybe leave the room, physically walk out of the room, then physically walk back in. Yeah, walk into the next room.
Just sort it out. It's nothing to do with us. You sort it out, okay?
Oh, Sam Smith is the gay devil. My mistake.
No, I mean, I think the gay devil, that's not specifically Sam Smith because he's bisexual. But if you're going to call Sam Smith anything, I would call the fat devil.
Oh,
I'm allowed to say that because
I don't agree with
for the first time when I was in Morecambe, there was a full-length mirror, and I was looking at it, and I was
for the first time.
I was thinking, what the hell is going on there?
Right.
Like,
were you nude with Josh, standing arm in arm in a full-length mirror? Is that what happened?
No. Believe it or not, that did not happen. We didn't reenact a scene from Eyes Wide Shut or something, and that's honestly that what you just said is sickening.
Sounds like something the two of you would do.
I was just in a small room that I rented. I mean, that I paid for the Airbnb. Not Airbnb. It was just a B&B. It's the same place as I stayed in before where they told me to turn the TV down at 11 p.m. But this time, I got a smaller room because it simply wasn't necessary for me to be in a double bed. Mm-hmm. But the only problem, apart from everything else, the place was no children. They didn't allow them, which is good. Because, you don't get any noise or anything particularly. But, yeah, I mean, I always find something. And the bed itself was a bit hard, I will say. So it made getting to sleep a bit difficult. But when I was there on the last night, someone kept opening and closing the door a lot. So I opened my door and then closed it sort of briskly. And I think they got the picture. Let me say.
That'll show.
But I nearly got into a state of disorder with somebody there.
Well, that's surprising.
A Mike Patton-esque moment or something. Anyway, Josh sounds like he's been seeing a lot of films recently.
Well, look, I watched the Fincher film on Netflix.
I only watched the first half of that, and I was sort of like just ebbing no, my interest was just fading from it.
Oh, really? I thought the subject matter would interest you. I know you like revenge films.
Yeah, but I couldn't understand what the hell was going off. I mean, obviously, it was just him getting revenge against his employers as an assassin, but the film's so focused in on one character that, I mean, maybe if I watched the last hour, I might enjoy it more, but it's so, initially at least, it's very slow.
You know what? It's a develop. You know, I was watching it, and I was, it's funny you mentioned that because I enjoyed the film, but I don't mind a good slow film. I mean, a good slow film, but I was watching, I was thinking this is going to be a little too slow for some people. And I got to tell you, Fassbender is terrific in it. But God, he makes you feel guilty. He's so fit in that fucking movie. He's in such good shape.
Yeah, no, but you can't go. I don't think you should start like giving the film more than 2 stars out of 5 purely on the basis that he's fit. Like, there's a scene where he says, this is. Like, it's got that American Psycho thing about it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it does, a little bit.
And also, the first shots, Carl brought this to my attention, like, it looks like the sort of scene from Fight Club at the end, but at the start, with him looking through a window out at the landscape and everything.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Jesus, Ben. What is going on with your audio today, bud? Anyway,
I'll unmute him in a minute.
The concept of the film is not original, right? The assassin and all that kind of thing, and him going after people. But what the movie was still enjoyable to me, which to me is a hallmark of a good movie. If the theme is not especially original, but they still found a way to make it interesting. I don't know. I thought.
I honestly, this was a case of me. One of these things, where I was leafing through something else and not paying full attention. And this is a kind of film where you should be giving it your full attention. You shouldn't be sort of browsing through a magazine or, on your phone or leafing through a
pornography
book about David Lynch or something.
Scott Ryan's books. Yeah. Anyway, maybe give it a chance. I don't know, but you know what? If you watched the first half and it didn't catch you, then it didn't catch you. I thought it was good. I love when Netflix gets a good director like this and lets him do his thing and produce a movie.
Well, I can imagine you like the scene where he said, and McDonald's is as good a place to get protein, and you see him eating the burger
without the bun
and the bacon or something.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie. Well, it's funny you mentioned that. The attention to detail. I don't think I've ever seen a movie show like somebody in shape and purposely not eating carbohydrates. I was watching. I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen that. Even though it's like ubiquitous, people don't eat bread. You know what I mean? Or sugars and grains. I don't think I've seen a movie do that before. And he is fit in the movie. He's doing push-ups on his fingers, which is ridiculous. And they have a couple of shirtless shots with him that shows he's in great shape. But, there's also, he's supposed to be blending in. I mean, the guy looks like he's 6'3" and incredible shape, white guy, and he's walking around Dominican Republic. I don't think he'd blend in very well. But, I can give them.
I don't think he's 6'3".
He looks very tall, doesn't he?
Let me just check.
Maybe because he's so lean. Maybe he's not that tall. He's got to be at least 6'1".
1.83 meters, so smaller than me. Well,
all right.
That's relatively tall for a lot of actors. For instance, like James McAvoy is only 1.7 meters.
McAvoy's short though.
McAvoy looks quite stocky if you watch It Chapter 2. Which I thought he was actually good in, despite the rest of the film not being exactly great.
Okay, he's just barely over 6 feet. Okay, I thought he looks taller on camera, but that can be deceiving.
Well, no, I mean it's basically 6 foot. It's about 6 foot.
Right, so. Right. All right. Anyway, he looks quite fit and trim in the movie.
Yeah, I did actually look up the initial sort of outfit that he was wearing and everything, and he said that he was partly inspired by Liam Gallagher. I know you're a massive fan of his as well.
Yeah, sure. So, he does look like, what? Now I didn't know that, but now that you mention it.
Well, they basically, his look was supposed to be in the first part like a sort of unfashionable German tourist.
That's what he describes it as, which I thought was
something like that, which is it's sort of like it's not supposed to just completely blend in, but he's supposed to be like off-putting so that people wouldn't.
Yeah,
really
what did he
talk
say?
to
It's
him.
like he said, nobody wants to talk to German tourists. It's just like street mimes, which I I thought that was clever. But interesting film. It's a revenge film, and it's got some the old assassin having to turn on everybody going after him. I think again, Fassbender. I've always thought Fassbender was good, and he plays these roles where he's purposely wooden, I guess, and he's kind of blank. I don't know, but it's like, obviously the way he does it in the Alien movies, that's because he's playing an android. But he even on the in the X-Men, he kind of plays a almost stoic, I guess, is the way to describe the performance. And he was perfect for this story of playing like a serial killer, not a serial killer,
Yeah, but these comments from Josh just are the epitome of his sort of high-minded ignorance, really, what I would describe as, because he's saying this is a fast turnaround by Fincher, considering Mank came out 2 years ago. I mean, considering also that this is like we've been through the pandemic and everything, I would say it's probably longer than 2 years, and that is not unnatural by any means, or unusual. If you go back to Hollywood productions, of say 1960s onwards, people made, like, even Kubrick made more films. A lot of directors would make a film every year or something, and so there's no reason for them not to do that anymore if they've actually got the deal. Like, Fincher could make a film every year for Netflix. Like, the way things are going,
he was very happy with this project. I read it in
this was actually screened in some cinemas here. It was on for maybe a couple of weeks or something before it was on Netflix, but there's not going to be enough interest for it to remain in screens after that time. So,
well, look, it's got there's nothing cheap looking about it. It looks like a full-blown cinematic release.
No, it looks fine as far as it goes, but it's obviously, I can't speak having not seen the second half, but at the same time, I will watch the rest of it. But this is not a film on a par with like Fight Club, is it, in terms of budget?
No, but they got Helen Mirren in it.
Oh well, I'll need to carry on with it, I think. But I think the way things are going, it's just like Netflix is probably going to have some. I don't know. There's a new thing. Netflix is going to have these kind of premieres, which are only on its channel. Quite well-made films, like, and a lot of films that are coming out as well on the cinema. They're indistinguishable from films made for Netflix, like Barbie, for instance. I wouldn't include Oppenheimer in that. That doesn't look like a Netflix film.
Sorry, I said it's not Helen Mirren. It's Tilda Swinton. I've confused those two. They're interchangeable to me. Helen Mirren's more charming, actually.
Right, but do you know what I mean? Like, there's a new film. Have you seen the trailer for it called Damsel with Millie Bobby Brown? And at the end it says only on Netflix. And I was looking at the trailer and I was thinking, okay, this has got to be on the cinema, because it's like epic, it's well made, and it's got quite a lot of stars in it. It's got Ray Winstone in it, for God's sake. But the trouble now with a lot of the kind of box office hits and the big films, like, they look like something that could be made for Netflix almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, because
did you see Barbie?
No, I have not yet seen Barbie.
Okay, well,
but I am watching the trailer for this Damsel film while we're talking right now, with the sound off, obviously, and it does look like something. I don't like Millie Bobby Brown, though. I'm not a fan of hers.
I think it'll be decent. I mean, I think she'll be good in it. But at the same time, I think a lot of the film will basically be a confined thing, like a lot of films they're doing now, where it focuses in on one character in a certain struggle, like her going through these caves or climbing up these cliffs and things. It's going to be one of those films where it's focused on that. Then it has a few bits where it shows some people on the ship and what have you, but it's going to be more of a sort of I mean, I can't understand. I can't think that it would be an epic style film if it was only on Netflix.
Well, I mean, Netflix is pounding out that good content. I mean, they're going to have that Zack Snyder. Put my screen up. I want to.
Well, they really need. They really need to.
Some of the shots from this thing look pretty interesting, actually. They got that Zack Snyder thing coming out, and that's not going to be cheap by any means. But I mean, look at that. That looks pretty good.
All of it looks as good as CGI combined with sets can be these days. But if the people who made, for instance, the Stranger Things special effects are behind it, then why wouldn't it look good? Yeah. And the thing is with Millie Bobby Brown, if they have her as the lead actress in it, then they automatically get a lot of the Stranger Things fans watching it.
Right. So what, you're thinking, based on this trailer, that this movie is her trying to get out of these caverns or wherever the hell she is right now?
Yeah, like that film that was the Predator spin-off, Prey, that kind
by
of
herself. Do you think she has the ability to carry something like that out by herself?
I don't know. The thing is,
oh, see, that looks great. I see what you're saying.
The film looks visually, it looks like something that should have been seen on the cinema, right?
Right, yeah.
So if it's only on Netflix, this just means it's just blurring the distinction between cinema and TV ever more, really.
Good. I mean,
not that there's any problem with that, because people have such good setups at home, then why not?
Do you think that the studios, that they're going to have to adapt to doing this sort of thing? Because there's going to be, as time goes by, as these younger generations are going to be more and more separated from the theater going experience and binge watching whatever they want to watch and all that kind of thing. It's interesting. I mean,
they try and get people to go to the cinema and to see things in all these different versions now, like the IMAX so-called, with extra leg room. You pay more for that.
It's like the girls from Dune.
Better seating and all this kind of thing. So
interesting.
So tonight, you join a long line of women.
Uh-oh.
Help to build this kingdom.
All right, whatever. Yeah, okay. I'll watch it. I'm not that big a
you might as well carry on watching bits from it. I mean, as you can see, it's got like people who were in that, what's it called? The not WandaVision, Black Panther, and Robin White, right? Still looks like very similar to how she looked in like almost The Princess Bride, really. This just reminds me of that, but
very handsome woman.
So it kind of hits all the notes for different generations, really.
This girl was in Black Panther. Who is this? I don't recognize.
Oh, I don't know if it was her or some other one. I don't know the exact name of the oldie.
And who's that? Do you know who that is? Is that someone I should recognize?
No, I thought it was the actor from George Mackay, but I don't think it's him. So.
Fucking hell, there's a dragon! Uh-oh.
Anyway, there's a question in the chat for you from Millie, a.k.a. Plastic Entrapment. Are you going to see the Stranger Things stage show, Voltaire? It might be a musical, which is right up your alley.
I will not. No. I have no interest in musicals, and certainly not live musicals done by low-level actors.
Not even if it was directed by Scott Ryan?
Well, maybe.
What about if Millie was in it? Dressed as a, I'm
there. I don't need to hear
some kind of Stranger Things character or something.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Josh, my aversion to the cinema is not that I don't like. You know what? It's the cinema. I don't like mixing with the animals that go to the cinema. People have no decorum. There's talking in the theaters. I get angry. You know what I mean? Mind you, if you go to a matinee when there's not people around, it's
if you mean like me, you mean murderers.
I certainly the opening night movie or opening weekend movie on a Friday or Saturday night forget about it.
Well, the thing with Josh is he always goes to the cinema now with his actual. You know, he was dressed up as Jack Torrance and all that.
Yeah, with his lady love.
But he had like an axe, and it's supposed to look fake, but it's real.
This is also a man who got into a fight at a taxi stand not too long ago. You know what I mean? This Josh is still living like a 16, 17-year-old lad going out there for a few carlings and causing trouble, you know? So he likes to go to the theater, mix it up. You know what I mean?
No, he wasn't like that when I saw him.
Oh, was he no carlings? He wasn't. He was sober?
He was like, a lot of the time, I felt like he was having sort of like a manic episode about meeting Jan Harlan, an 86-year-old man. And
he was also presenting. He was presenting.
Rob Ager on the same day.
But he was presenting. He couldn't be drunk off his tits. Here's me model, lads. What do you think?
No, he didn't. I don't know if he really did any presenting. He just had to be there.
Well, standing next to it. What if he fell over like a drunken slob, you know? And
after we watched Full Metal Jacket, basically, there was Josh just sort of interviewed like halfway through the discussion with Jan Harlan and Rob Ager chatting. Oh, I did that model at the front, by the way. And then like he fell over in the aisle, and I was like, "Oh
God,
what's wrong with him?" And he said, and he got up and he went, "Sorry, must be my first time drinking beer, if you remember that."
That's his go-to, yeah.
Dead silence. I was like, "Oh, you blew it! You blew it!
Oh,
this was your big chance." To get into the world of, you know, never mind Sylvester Stallone, you'll be sending him to flipping Michael Fassbender soon.
Oh, boy.
Or Millie Bobby Brown.
I wonder what he can make for Michael Fassbender. I don't know that there's anything in particular he could. That would be, unless he made like Magneto's helmet or something like that.
Could do the film Shame of him just standing somewhere in New York screaming due to all his shame.
Okay.
Remember that film?
I didn't see that film.
You should watch. You'd really enjoy that one, I think, bearing in mind what you said about this, the killer.
Okay, I'll take a look. I mean, I'm starting to. I always liked Fassbender. Like I thought he was great in those Prometheus movies. I think he's excellent as Magneto. But
he's well known from that initial film where he plays the prisoner who starved himself nearly to death, or something of that kind.
I didn't see that movie.
Called what's that called? Someone in the chat, please remind me of what that film was by Michael Fassbender, or with him in it, where he plays the starving prisoner. At the time, I actually wrote it off as being like sort of starvation porn, you know, for people. But I think I was wrong to say that.
Starvation porn.
Or like, you know, sort of people lapping up, you know, it's like trendy to like things that are sort of on the edge a bit, that kind of thing. You know, edging over political prisoners and things.
Not fucking invited.
That's Josh's type of thing too.
Yeah, he likes things that are worthy. Like,
thank you. I'm sorry I don't know your name. I'm
what's this movie?
like when he was watching Oppenheimer, a lot of the time he kept sort of tutting to himself and saying, I could have told you this would have ended badly. You know, making a bomb that big, it's not a good idea, is it? But,
what is this movie, Saltburn? Is this a gay film? A gay lovers movie?
it's a film recommended by Scott Ryan where there's some poor guy who goes and meets all these rich people through being at Cambridge University. And they get him involved in weird sex games, like putting
penises in his ass,
putting salt on the exposed bell end. That's called the salt burn in Induction.
I like that actor, the guy who played him,
Barry.
Yeah, he's quite good.
You're so
Yeah, he's one of my favorite actors
real.
in recent times. I mean, but
yeah. Ever since I first saw him in that film, Killing of a Sacred Deer, he's not disappointed in the things I've seen him so far.
Really, ever since I saw him, I was quite deeply attracted to him.
Is that right? Sexually?
Yeah. No, just as an actor. That's what Josh said to
Ager?
that's what Ager when he says, "I've always been deeply attracted to you." And
How did Ager take that?
he's
like,
well, I do get, I do get a lot about that actually. I do get a lot of that. So if you're ever coming to Liverpool, like if you're swinging my way, do you get what I'm saying now? Swinging, and you're up for a gangbang, which he kept mentioning as well. Just holler. Josh was like, "What do you mean? Have you got a phone number or something?" He says, "Nah, just write to me. Slide into my DMs." So
look, he got all jacked.
Oh well.
Oh. I guess it's inevitable. He's making Hollywood films. He's going to start lifting.
Quiet, harmless, drawn to shiny things.
What have you done?
What have you done? Anyway, that's interesting.
Yeah, the trouble with a lot of these films now, though, that I've allowed everyone's allowed in the chat now, and Davrin's come in immediately with negativity. So.
Well, if that's his opinion on the Killers of the Flower Moon film, true. Martin Scorsese only makes 3-hour plus films now. That seems to be what he does, which I guess is okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's saying might because he's not seen it.
Oh, he hasn't seen it.
If he's not seen it, then how can you know, really? It's just you're just dismissing the film before you've even given it a chance. And I tend to actually, believe it or not, even though I have mocked him on many occasions, and every chance I get to mock him, I will take, purely due to just me being a nasty piece of work. I do take Josh's opinion seriously, and he said it's a great film.
But look at what Josh is saying, agreeing with Davern. It's a 3-hour film, and there's not much character development. What the hell are you doing for 3 hours if not character development? It's interesting. Don't you
That's
think?
probably just Josh not understanding the film properly, because he's still, as you say, if it's not a film about Mandela Man, I will say to you, there's no way people are going to be able to read in the chat what you're putting on your video screen now. So just stop it. It's just very distracting.
He wants you to switch his place with me in the whatever, so we can see his thing.
What do you mean?
Like, how I'm above him? If you can make my box below.
No, forget that. That's just ridiculous. Mandela Man, just sort out your sound, or otherwise we'll just wait for another day.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why you're clicking. It sounds like a needle drop on a record player, Mandela Man. It's really odd. I don't know how to do his audio.
He's been on 2 other videos this week. It's like, come on.
Well, it's okay. Let him on. He seems to have something important to say. And
no, I've already listened to him. He's talking about it'll start asking you about legal dealings with Apple and things. It's just madness,
Hello there. Look at that lass in the fish nest. That was very lovely.
No, I actually commented on this one saying it was quite an erotic photo. But the scary thing with this is that, why go out with an axe like this in public?
Well, it is Halloween.
No, but it's actually, that's a real...
It is not a real axe. Is it? Surely that's a plastic one. Because that's just...
No, it's a real axe.
Oh, that's ridiculous, Josh. That is ridiculous. Come on. Actually, I do think The Departed has good character development.
Davrin, you've gone completely mental in your comments now. I'm not going to put all those up. Just try and make a concise comment. And to consider that Fassbender's best work is Eden Lake is ridiculous.
Why is that ridiculous? I haven't seen the
film.
Well,
it doesn't really focus on him. It focuses on the teens more, I would say. I can understand that you might like that film out of his filmography the most, but I don't think it's the one which showcases his acting the best, So
Is that a real axe, Josh? You couldn't get a pretend axe. Like, I mean, you're in there making models and stuff. You couldn't make a fake axe. You know, like, I mean, you walk around with a real axe like that is just that's strictly to intimidate people. I don't know how you were allowed into these establishments with a weapon like that.
But like Josh's character here now, sorry, Josh's question. I mean, does the Departed have character development? I would argue it does.
I agree. Sure does.
Specifically, the main focus is on Leonardo DiCaprio's character, and he is obviously having like mental health problems for sure, and he's prescribed different things and stuff, and he prides himself on the ability to interact with all these, gangsters and not be sort of like shaking. He says, "My hand's not shaking," and I'm right tough. I am, and he's like. But it's the typical old thing of, it's like the Will Graham thing in Manhunter. He's scared of the fact that he's actually becoming like the people he's spending time with, which is arguably inevitable, really. So, because he's what is he actually in it? Because I know that, like, for instance, he's like. Matt Damon's character is actually a criminal, but enrolls into the police, whereas DiCaprio's character is
the exact opposite, the undercover cop.
Oh, he's an undercover cop, right? Okay, so he's and obviously both of them end up dead by the end, but that's not really the point of it. The point is sort of.
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you because he's just confirmed that was a rubber axe. Okay, Josh, nobody's shoving hatred up your ass. Everybody loves you. James did slander you by saying you were carrying a real axe. That's a rubber axe, James. I don't know why you would slander the man that way.
I'm sorry, it's just that I asked some people who were in the know when I was in Morecambe area, and they said that they actually felt like they were worried about Josh, basically, that he was going around Morecambe and other places with a real axe to try and give an impression of dominance, and like he's one of the, like Dave Courtney, who was a well-known gangster type, hard man in this country, died recently.
Odd man.
He was, but somebody seems to think that someone shot him because he had a pillow over his head. And anyway, it was. I don't want to go into that, but Josh basically said, "This is my chance to be that hard," Do
you think that, Josh, what was the percentage of people who knew what that costume was? I just wonder how much in the zeitgeist that whole thing is, because otherwise you just look like a jerk walking around with an axe. So I wonder how many people. I mean, you took.
But he was trying to, like I said, he's trying to genuinely. A lot of people did think it was real, and he wouldn't, with the way Josh is, he's a bit like stoical, like he thinks I'm tough or something. So, and he did that a lot with me. I was like, "Can we go and speak to Ager now?" And he's like, "No, you go and talk to him."
Right. He wants you to take down this photo because there's civilians in it, so he's not happy about that. So that's fair. But I wonder, like. Is the Shining, like, and Josh takes his time and to painstakingly try to imitate the costume to his credit. But I do wonder how many people get that reference when they see it. He says 50-50. And then
that's
some
ridiculous. I don't think that 50-50.
What about the rest of his comment? Look at that. Put some girl all over his cock because he was dressed because she loved The Shining. I mean, to throw that in.
Anyway, I mean, okay, Mandela Man, I will say, like, I don't really think there's much point in you coming in today because you keep sending me these messages. These messages about.
I fixed it.
No, but I'm talking about what you wanted to talk about. It just sounds like it's nothing like relevant to the show. So why are you doing hand gestures instead of talking?
Oh, can you hear me now? Is it okay?
Yeah, it seems to be.
Okay, I switched phones. It won't let me go through that phone, and it was so weird. Like when I went out and came back, it tried to give me StreamYard for free, but then to get it for free, it wanted to take over my YouTube page. Like,
Fucking hell.
All right, Mandela man, if you're just going to talk bollocks all the time, then frankly, I've just had enough of it, honestly. Jesus Christ, it's just like we've got to have some like level of like what we talk about, otherwise it just becomes one person just having like a paranoid fit all the time. So anyway, I only wanted to do this as a shorter show, really, so I don't want to have just Mandela Man going off into some kind of mass long discussion about, you know, he's saying, are you going to have a meeting with Apple tomorrow and stuff like this to me? So
is that right? You have one scheduled?
I haven't. I mean, I don't know how I would even how that would be possible.
You and Tim Cook?
I don't even know who Tim Cook is. So
Tim Cook is the CEO of Apple. Oh, geez, here we go. Look at Josh talking about Halloween, women coming on to him, breaking up relationships, you know. So I guess it's all in the day's work. There was one bird that wouldn't leave me alone because she was a massive Shining fan.
Yeah, but that's just she's a Shining fan. It doesn't mean that she's likes you.
Well, look at her boyfriend kept trying to pull her away because he knew she wanted some of this.
That just sounds like a complete misinterpretation on Josh's part.
Well, he alleges the story can be corroborated, presumably by his lady love, who was there with him. So maybe she didn't like how familiar this girl was getting with Josh.
And this is just something that they've got going on, like in their kind of, you know, general social life nowadays. They have this idea of, you know, partner swapping and all this kind of thing.
No, that's not Josh's style, I don't think.
No, I'm not necessarily saying it is Josh's style, but I know that it's been mentioned. And
no.
I don't pass any judgment on it necessarily, but I think for someone like Josh, he would, you know, go for it. If he
No, I don't think he would. I don't think so. I don't think he's that
No, I think if that couple dressed up as the Grady twins, who axed to death and stuff, if they said, you know, how about putting your axe in my gash later on, you know, down on the bay, he'd be like, I'm up for it. Are you up for it? You know, to his girlfriend. She'd be like, yes, I'm up for it.
No, I don't think he'd want to be involved with another man or have another man. I think he's too possessive and that kind of thing. I don't think he'd tolerate that kind of thing.
No, I'm not saying that he would be involved with like a man. He would just be, he would be, you know, using and abusing the female flesh. Because he says, he actually said to me when we were just with Ager, he said, oh, there's some right top birds here, aren't there?
At this Full Metal Jacket presentation.
No, it was the day after in the Midland Hotel. It was quite a posh whole like affair, really. And he nodded when he said that towards what we discovered was actually Ager's wife.
Oh,
and
Ager
was like, "Well, I appreciate you, I appreciate you, my you know, but in a Liverpool accent. But she's off the table, all right." And then Ager went, "I could have any woman here, all right."
Yeah,
because you know, you saw in that piece of video where he was grabbing hold of my chest and stuff.
Yeah,
that was like.
Very familiar.
Him basically saying, he was saying, yes, it's on, because I had a Yes t-shirt.
Yeah.
But then he said, he said to me, which is your favorite album then? And I was like, oh, cornered a bit. And like, you know, he was really kind of expressing his dominance over me, I could tell.
Yeah, I think you should have told him. That's a bit of a personal question, I think.
And I said, actually, I said, and I was just being completely honest, you know, the Ladder album from 1999, which is where I got to know Yes from. I actually knew them because of the film Buffalo 66. Some of their music was used in that, the Vincent Gallo film, and he's a massive fan of them and stuff. But then I bought that album, and then Ager was like, "Oh, I got into them, from 90215 in the 80s. And then Josh also said, yeah, he's also into Aha. And I was like, yeah, all right, Josh, why you have to stop? And I says, yeah, actually, the Aha are really good. And then Ager went, yeah, the thing is, I don't get it nowadays. Like, so much modern music is so, and a lot of media generally, I suppose he was talking about films really more than music, is so like doomy and downbeat and everything, depressing. And what's wrong with like upbeat pop, and I was ready to correct him by saying, I don't necessarily think Aha are massively upbeat. Maybe Take On Me is, you just know that, but they're more melancholic, So
Turned into a big fight then.
he could have done.
Yeah, leave it to you to start a dispute at an event like that. Start a whole Donnybrook.
Well, I wasn't intending to. All I said is, thank you for getting me into Animal Mother.
Animal Mother.
Animal Mother. Yeah,
Josh, don't call your girlfriend your partner. Me and me partner. Jesus.
No, I think that I am very grateful to Josh and Lottie. And like about Lottie, I think that she was actually.
Well, you don't have to say her name. Don't dox a poor woman. Just say his lady love.
She's 26, and so considerably younger than Josh. Really, I mean, he.
What is it? That's like 2 years younger than Josh.
On his part, that's like back of the net, I'll say. And no, he's 31 now. So
that's still only 3 years or 4 years, 5 years his junior. That's nothing.
No, at that age, that is a massive difference, and so. I think that she's very kind of empathetic and mature for her age, I would say. Because you meet some 26-year-olds, like, for instance, Josh, when he was 26, he was still wandering around Morecambe playing Blues Brothers 2000 on his, the soundtrack album on his Walkman or something, or he's recording off of the TV of the same film, which is actually coming out as a 4K release next year in a 3-hour, 40-minute version. So that's something to look forward to. So... From John Landis. Are you a fan of that film?
Sorry, which one? Which John Landis film?
Blues Brothers 2000.
Oh, I don't think I've ever watched the whole thing.
No, I've never watched it at all, but...
He did say your partner improved the experience because she's upbeat. That's a lovely compliment. Well, that is a nice compliment, I suppose.
Yeah, just as soon as you start voicing a woman in the chat, you don't have to go into, like, comically high...
That's how women sound, don't you know?
Josh says, James was outside having a full-blown affair with my girlfriend while I was sat inside next to Jan Harlan.
Who's Jan Harlan?
He is Kubrick's longtime producer.
Oh, I see.
He produced basically everything from Kubrick after a certain point. Anyway, I mean, I mainly was interested in Eyes Wide Shut, but I never got to ask him about... But he did make it clear that nothing was cut from that film other than... Warner Brothers wanting a shot of penetration removed, so they used CGI to cover that up.
Really?
Yeah, that's from what I understood anyway, from what you were saying. Some people think there's like 30-40 minutes or whatever of deleted bits, but obviously that's not true. Because, well, I mean, there might be a few deleted scenes, but yeah.
Thank you, Millie. I enjoy reading as a woman's voice. It's fun. And maybe we can read some mean tweets by women if I find some one of these days.
Thing is, though, I actually think, for instance, for Millie, you're not doing it high enough. So that's what I find more offensive. If you do it like even higher, but in a sort of like a rough Australian backwards.
Well, like Dane Edna or whatever her name is?
Similar, yes, but not as posh. It's like someone who lives in Australia and then they're like, oh, do you know where the general store is? Oh, it's 5 miles down that track. That's where Millie lives.
Okay.
Kind of similar to Morecambe, really. I mean, yeah, no, honestly, Josh's girlfriend was very pleasant to talk with and made the whole thing more enjoyable because she generally seemed to be enjoying being around Rob Ager and everybody.
Is that right? Was she familiar with his work?
Honestly, I mean, you'd have to ask Josh about that. I don't know about. I think she knows of these people. Yeah, I think she's watched some of it.
Support Josh. Support her partner.
You don't like the word. You don't like calling them a partner.
No, I find it very effeminate.
It sounds like a partner in business or something.
That's me partner. It is. Keep your hands off me partner.
You're definitely a meat pie. Right now, my partner.
Yeah, I don't know why neither of you delivered a cheese sandwich to Rob Ager. I mean, for God's sake, the two of you, sack up, would you? And give the man a cheese sandwich. He would have found that hilarious if you had presented him with a cheese sandwich.
Compared to the food we were given at the Midland Hotel, it really wasn't, something that we would have been happy to have given him because it was just, it's just stupid. So
I don't know. Listen,
Charlotte Nightstar, the werewolf, now gives a question to you. Did you hear about what happened to Matt Dillhunty? He's out of the modern day debate now because of Andrew Wilson from The Crucible. I don't know
these names.
I don't know what she's talking about.
I'm not aware. I'm not familiar with either of these names.
The Crucible is a snooker sort of place and theatre in Sheffield.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's all referring to, though. So please further explain, Charlotte. I have no idea what you're talking about. Sorry.
I don't agree with that, Phantom Cooper.
I hope you're feeling happy that you're giving a fellow.
Thank you, Davern, for liking me British accent. It is spot on, isn't it?
Well, Davern was describing himself on the Tulpa forum as a middle-aged man. So just to think that you're making another middle-aged man feel very, nice and warm. Just think about that.
I bring the funny. I have a doctorate in funny. Okay? I come here for the people to bring the funny.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that you do, but at the same time, you do actually have some really good insights. So
I'm here for the people.
Thank you for the insight, Phantom Cooper. I mean, I don't think that secure or not really means that you can't focus on different things.
The word partner has been co-opted. So as a man who has a business partner and a law partner, that word's been stolen from me by the LGBTQ plus community. Because when I say my partner, whatever, let's pretend his name is Steve. My partner, Steve, they think I'm talking about my boyfriend or something. Could you imagine? So I've lost that. So I have to say my law partner or my business partner. So the word partner has just been taken away, where it used to mean something completely different. Now it's me partner. I love me partner. Me and me partner went to dinner last night. We did.
Well.
Anyway, but yes, I'm poking fun at Josh, but I'm hearing more and more men refer to their girlfriends as their partners, and I presume it's because for some group of people find the word girlfriend to be, I don't know, immature or guy, maybe because it has the word girl in it. They find that disrespectful. But I would hope better from Josh, truthfully. But again, I don't know his lady love, and I don't know what kind of proclivity she has to be called a girlfriend. She might be like, "Don't call me a girl. I'm a grown woman. I am." So anyway, that's my explanation, Phantom Cooper.
Well, I think this clarifies everything from Charlotte Nightstar, the werewolf.
Matt Dillahunty was an atheist speaker, and Andrew Wilson is one of the greatest actors in the world with Christian values. Sorry that you didn't know. The Crucible is Andrew's show on YouTube. Okay, I'll have to check it out. I'm not familiar, though.
Or not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anyone who calls a show The Crucible.
No, of course I'm familiar with The Crucible.
What, the show?
No, the play.
Yeah. Arthur Miller, is it?
Arthur Miller, it is. He got to bang Marilyn Monroe because she was so enthralled with his writing skills.
Well, that's where Daniel Day-Lewis met Rebecca Willer as well, with that film, The
Is that
Crucible, which Josh mentioned earlier. So, Davrin, if you can't remember what you were actually writing on Tulpa, then honestly, it's not important.
Well, I mean, you guys contribute to that board together. You've
I don't really.
You've caused policy changes to that board. You and him.
I don't really put much in there.
Josh, you're ridiculous. I mean, I prefer cum receptacle, but that's your relationship is your relationship.
Sounds like Josh has had his first drink of the night.
Oh, at this time of night? No, he's at least 6 carlings in, I would think.
Charlotte, if you can get any money saved, I would recommend trying transcendental meditation rather than the Crucible.
That's terrible, Josh. You really offended Millie there, Josh. That's
It's just because Josh has had like half a pint. After that, he starts getting like really offensive, deliberately offensive. Like Finchy in The Office. Saying,
yeah.
Whilst you're down there, love.
Yeah, he starts
and everyone's just like, what?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Right.
Why are you behaving like you're 16 or something? If you've watched some of the In-Betweeners.
I have.
He's like the one who was always lying. Like when he went to Agra, he says, I've actually done about 500 of these models if you're interested in coming back to my place to have a look tonight.
Ager's busy programming.
My partner will be there, by the way. You can come and have a look in the garage.
Did Ager talk about like he's making a video game and all that kind of stuff, or
of the interviews and everything that were done, like on the after Full Metal Jacket, they did an interview with Jan Harlan. Like both of the mics, especially Jan Harlan's mic, was sort of just giving this weird reception. It was annoying.
That's terrible.
And they were still recording it. Yeah. And the same thing happened on the Sunday, the day after, because whilst I was sitting there with Lottie outside, and Josh was still in there because he was really trying to mingle with everyone.
Yeah.
And there was some video problems with the projection or whatever, and apparently Jan Harlan was actually getting quite pissed off about it.
Well, yeah, sounds amateur shit. Amateur Morecambe bullshit.
I mean, if Josh actually had some balls, he'd come on this video and tell us properly about what happened. But I've given him chance now over the last couple of weeks, and he's just not come on yet.
Yeah, he doesn't. I mean, maybe he had some traumatic experiences during that weekend. He doesn't want to relive them.
If anything, he's had the opposite of traumatic, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm. Pleasurable, memorable, or fond memories of what happened. Anyway, I still don't know. Do you know if you gave Rob Ager a cheese sandwich, he would be like, "Oi, this is a real fun, he is." He would have loved it. I don't know if he would have eaten it.
No, I mean, it could have happened, but he would have just put it in his suitcase, or I actually arrived at the area, at the hotel.
What happened? Why'd you pause mid sentence like that?
I'm just looking on. There's people wanting to come on the show after it's started and stuff. So, and messaging me on Facebook. No, it's all right. It's just best with just us two, especially since this is a short show, and I want to get ready for something tomorrow as well. So,
You gotta shave your balls, get ready for whatever hijinks you're up to tomorrow.
there's no hijinks whatsoever.
Tomfoolery, then.
No, I appreciate everything that Mandela Man has brought to the show and everything, including him talking to his AI bot and things like that, which has been fun. But, sometimes if you just keep coming on day after day repeatedly, I don't know what people are going to want to talk about. And
you got mad at me for talking to your AI bot in a very real way. Dan Peak, what did you think of the Killer? I saw you said you watched it earlier. I'm curious what people's opinions on that film are. I'm not saying it's a fantastic film, and I get why you'd say it's slow, but maybe it's because I just watched it last night, so it's still fresh in my head. But I actually started it, and it was getting late, and I was like, maybe I'll just start it and finish it tomorrow. But I was so enthralled, I stayed up late watching it.
I watched a show which is available on Now TV or Sky here, Atlantic, called sorry, I'll tell you in a minute.
All right, while you're looking it up, Josh says, I had someone who went to the fest come to me house this morning. The boy something he did. Well, good for you, Josh. I'm glad you're making a few shekels off of this, your endeavors, your artistic endeavors there. But do you you're meeting these people at your house? Maybe you should meet them at your local, what's the place that sells the sausage rolls for you guys? Your Greg's. Maybe meet them. I'll meet you at the local Greg's, mate. Maybe not bring them to your house. You don't know what kind of psychopaths.
The thing is, though, I actually tried picking up the one of the toilets from The Shining, and I was like, God, this is so heavy.
Yeah. What, Josh? Would he give you one gratis?
Well, I didn't. What do you mean? I didn't want it.
Oh, I see.
Just saying, I tried picking it up just as a test because he had to keep moving it from the hotel to the real cinema just across the road.
Mm-hmm.
And they used a car to do it mainly because it was so heavy.
Really?
I don't know if they just asked me to carry it, I could have done, but
are you serious? It's that heavy?
Yeah, he says it's made out of MDF. And I was like, what DF?
Well, that's clever.
I didn't know what they're talking about. I don't know what MDF is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into that whole thing of talking about, manufacturing. So.
Why is that relevant, Phantom Cooper, whether or not there are sex scenes in her short stories?
MDF is, what does MDF stand for?
Medium
density fiberboard.
There you are.
Sheet wood. So it's just basically it was one of those typical
wait,
moments.
Josh was too dainty to carry it. He had to put it on a cart.
No, they put it inside a taxi.
Get the fuck out of here! How far away was the hotel from the event?
Well, it had to be secured in the back of the taxi with straps and things as well. So
wow.
it was literally about 200 yards.
200 yards. Took a taxi, eh? It's interesting.
Just to get it across the road, basically. But yeah, obviously you don't want to go and crash in on the floor or something, do you? So, and it's in the dark some of the time, so it's going to be quite difficult.
Mm.
I wasn't trying to show off my muscles or anything like that. I was just genuinely curious how, if I wanted to try and lift it up and take it back to my B&B, just walking down the seafront as a joke, how long it would take, and then I decided it's not worth it really. And then I thought I could actually go and bury it on the beach.
Well, that would be kind of psychopathic.
No, it's just a joke. Like, that's what 16-year-old lads do. And have you never done anything like that?
Well, no. If somebody put a lot of work into a project like that, I would not bury it. No, I find that would be a little bit too aggressive.
Well, solely meant as a sort of in jest, not like some kind of serious sort of attack on his person or something.
Sounds like bullying to me.
No, I don't think it's bullying. I think it's more like just brothers. When when you've had your first pint, everyone remembers that. You're taking like MDF toilet diorama from The Shining and bury it on the beach. Mm-hmm. But then piss on it.
Oh, you had to do that last part.
Because it's a toilet.
Again, so it's going back to bullying,
Then set it on fire by accident. So, sorry. No, I shouldn't say any of this stuff because, in honesty, all of this is just a lot of aggression coming out of me because I'm jealous of Josh's ability.
Uh-huh.
So, to make a recreation of the toilets from The Shining, it is one of those things.
Well, you know what? Honestly, you're making a joke because it's a toilet. He's made a bathroom. But if you think about The Shining, if you were going to make something, what are you going to make? You're going to make the elevators, the hallway with the elevators, right? You're going to make
probably
the bathtub sequence, or maybe
for me, the main thing would be the scene where Danny meets either the scene where they first appear in the kind of playroom or where they're in the corridor is the main thing. That's most. The trouble with that thing, even though I think what Josh did was technically and everything creatively it was great, and he did a fantastic job. I would have liked to have seen the one of the corridor. And
I don't know. The bathroom is equivalent almost to the red room. It looks weird. It's off-putting, and weird shit goes down in that bathroom. And I don't mean man-on-man sex or something when I say weird shit. Just weird stuff in the film is going on in that bathroom. So it makes sense. Like if he's gonna make something, if it's Hitchcock next year, like he says, what's he gonna do? Bates Motel, I guess. Or you could do the house, but I think.
Well, most people think like one of the weird things with The Shining is all of these different sort of views of the film and discrepancies that are in there. Like, for instance, furniture moving around, chairs being on their side, and all that kind of stuff. But if I ask you within that bathroom scene where Jack Torrance goes in and there's the tall, more attractive woman, and then she changes into the so-called hag. So how many women would you say are shown in that scene? Just throw me a number.
2?
Yeah, but there is actually something that I saw where I'm not sure if this is from Ager or someone else. It is possible that other people have thoughts about The Shining than Rob Ager have. That is, just,
is that right?
Well, he makes you feel like you're not good enough to be.
Oh.
He's very, very productive, I've got to say, and it's sort of intimidating. But I mean that genuinely. He is one of these people who's just very productive. But Josh as well, actually, there's got something of a similarity. And I knew I was viewed beneath them when we were there on the day and everything.
Oh, was there like a hierarchy?
Sort of, yeah. And you can just
Josh
feel
would
it.
gladly enforce that. Yeah.
Yeah, he kept making disparaging comments about me and stuff, saying, "Oh yeah, he likes Aha," and basically, there's actually another woman. There's 2 different versions of the older woman. Basically, one when she's in the tub, then she changes when she gets out. She looks different somehow. She's more maybe, but then again, it's really the same woman. It's just that she's more mottled and distressed looking. In terms of her skin and everything. So. That's probably Ben messaging you, I think.
Oh, you can hear that? I didn't even know. Is this true, James?
What?
James started talking about all the mentally ill people he has on his YouTube show he did to the man who runs the show, runs the Bay. what's show runs the bay? What does that mean? What's show runs the bay?
If you saw that video I done recently it's like at the end it's got a short clip of Josh and his girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
Just giving Josh the thing. I can't really do two things at once.
Okay. And you know, Ben, you're messaging me. I'm not ignoring you. If you have any legal issues, I'd recommend you consult local counsel in your state, so we could give you competent legal advice on that.
Yeah, I'm not blocking anyone. I'm not blocking Ben or Mandela by any means, because he's been very helpful to me recently. I've enjoyed talking to him recently. It's just I don't want to tarnish that by having another video today where we go down this kind of twilight zone of just, you know, I do feel a lot of empathy for him, as you've said, but it's difficult sometimes because, you know, he's saying things like both of my brothers have kind of been disappeared, then other people around me are disappearing, and it's like, this is not something I can do anything about personally, unfortunately.
No,
but I have a lot of, you know, I have a lot of sympathy for him. It's just
okay. All right. Everybody cares about the guy. It's okay. And he knows that. He knows you do. Oh, bloody hell!
Josh is here. Hello. I hope you don't mind anything I've said tonight. It's all been very straightforward.
I think it's all been a bit.
A load of bollocks.
Yeah, it's been bullshit, basically.
Like people talking crap in a pub or something.
Ganging up on me for my alcohol intake. And, you know.
No, we're just, we're... Ever since you ordered that bottle of Buckfast, I got a bit, you know, concerned.
I just don't know why you think I'm drinking all the time, that's all.
Well, there's typical words from an alcoholic, I think. What are you drinking now? Was that an energy drink or was that lager?
Strongbow.
Oh, I remember when I had my first pint.
No, what I wanted to say was that we were very accommodating to you. You even said, I mean, you were like, Frank, you know, this is. I'm going to do an impression of you now. So I hope you're prepared for it.
Well, just be realistic, please.
Still yourself.
Well, this is what he did. You know, I was, you know, I'm very thankful actually that you and your girlfriend have invited me because, you know, I probably wouldn't have come if it weren't for you inviting me. So, you know, you've been very nice. That's what you said.
It's a fair point, you know.
That's polite. That's a kind.
It's kind of stating the obvious. But
he comes on here and he starts slagging it all off, saying that I was drunk.
No, I didn't.
The piss out of him constantly.
I was just making things more dramatic.
Yeah, well, I don't like it.
I was a bit concerned because you said on the Sunday you couldn't sleep or something, and you woke up with a start at like 6 a.m. suddenly thinking about Rob Eager.
We went out. That's because we went out after The Shining.
No, you didn't.
No, we did. Sorry. No, we went out on the Friday night.
Did you?
Yeah, we went out on the Friday night around Morecambe and we got absolutely pissed. And we were really hungover on the Saturday.
You and Eager specifically, or?
No, me and my girlfriend.
Oh, I thought you meant you were with Eager.
No, I wish. I mean, that would be something else.
So basically, you had a really good night, and then you just thought, maybe I should have reined it in a bit. With my partner.
With my partner, yeah, and I'll come back. But yeah, I. We did have a good time. It was really interesting.
So were you standing around your display, and if anybody tried to touch, you'd say, "Hands off, bitch."
No, I'd sort of be looking at it from across the room, and if anybody went near it, I'd go, "Get the fuck back away!" No, I wasn't really near it.
Yeah, saying that to Eager was a bit much.
It was sort of just hanging around. Nobody was really asking.
That actually, he said that reminded him of his very, very, which he kept going on about a lot. Like he's very hard-nosed background in Liverpool, in a very, very rough part of Liverpool, and he said it made him warm to Josh. But he kept saying, "When you've had the background I've had, fucking hell."
Josh messaged me telling me that he was having discussions about gangbangs with Ager or something along those lines.
Oh, no, I said to you, I think I said something like, Rob Ager has genuinely just said the word gangbang 3 times, or something like that, in an open Q&A to the public.
What I didn't like after I showed him my Yes t-shirt and stuff, he like opened his jacket and showed me he had like a kosh, and he says, "If anyone starts in here, I'm ready."
Yeah. But yeah, no, we were sat around the table, and I was a bit confused about that setup because I was under the impression that
That was a good time.
Well, I was under the impression it was going to be like,
I thought people would circulate, but instead we got stuck with one dude who basically was the producer of the Bay and writer.
Yeah, I thought it was speed dating where they keep going round.
Yeah, and my comment towards the end was really good, especially and helpful for him, I think, where I said I do a video, where a lot of people come on who are really eccentrics, and it makes me think that maybe you could do the next season of the Bay as like half sort of
Chernobyl.
Twin Peaks, half Chernobyl, yeah. And then he said, "Well, that's actually happening." Yes, he really said that as a joke, and we were like, "Really?"
Yeah.
Because we have no ability to know what's sarcastic.
No, you said something along the lines of, I do this show on YouTube, right? And I basically just have like we talk a lot about mental illness, and there's a lot of mentally ill people that come on. And he was
really into that at the time.
He was an Irish guy, and he was just going, "Oh, okay.
That's nice.
That's nice. That's good." And then you said, "Yeah, I've got this woman comes on, and she's from Poland or something like that."
Romania,
and she, we just basically talk about movies and things, but And then he said, "So what do you want? What is it you wanting to get out of this? This session, this meeting?" And you were like, "I don't know, really."
Just something to do. I'm just hanging about.
No, I didn't. And I said, then I just came in with, like, on that bit that I recorded, I said, "Yeah, Josh, by the way, you were talking about setting up a website or something." And I said, "My brother got a website set up with his webmaster for £20. And then Josh gives this look like, what? Then you just sort of went, "How? This just sounds completely random. What's James going on about?" He is like the mental person who's come with us. So you just tried to anchor it and said, your brother's an illustrator or an artist, isn't he?" And I went, "Yeah, he's an illustrator."
No, I said, "Oh, your brother's an artist, isn't he?" And you went, "He's an illustrator." Like you were really angry about confusion.
Yeah, and that guy just sort of like looked and then looked away. I was like, "What is happening here?"
Yeah, I think he was a bit confused.
But he was thinking these are good ideas for the Bay.
But I've been talking to the guy that was sat on the table with us.
Do you mean the young lad?
No. The old fellow that brought his daughter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he runs the...
Yeah, there was like this man, he brought his daughter, and she was like literally, how old was she? 12 or something?
I think she was 13.
And she went to see Full Metal Jacket. But,
But
she was fine.
What?
She seemed very intelligent, didn't she? Not that means that she wouldn't be disturbed by the film, so... Yeah.
Well, you said that to her. You said, "Did you see Full Metal Jacket last night?" And she said, Yeah. And you went, "Is that the first time you've seen it?" And she was like, "Yeah, properly all the way through." And you were like, "Bloody hell. Isn't that a bit much?" So
I said, "What do you think of that bit where there's the squibs going off and they're going, did you like that?" She went, I bloody loved it.
I'm talking to that guy because he does the Kubrick Appreciation Society, and they've got a podcast going on, which is really good. They get guests on. They had Liam Vitale on a few months before he died, actually. They've also had Matthew Modine on and a few other people.
Yeah. It made me appreciate Full Metal Jacket more, I would say, even because I think seeing on the cinema, you feel more immersed in it. But then again, did you see where I went to them? I was like, I booked seats at the back. I booked.
Yeah, you.
And the
I
big
said,
chair-
you said, "Can I not just sit there at the back?" And she said, "No, sorry, we can't. We've got the back 2 rows out because we've got the filming."
They're like filming at the back and the front, and I said,
And you,
"Come on."
and you were like, "But I
There's
bought my tickets for the back." And they were like, "I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. I mean, you could sit just 1 row in front." And you were like, "Yeah, but I've got my tickets for the back." And they were like,
I had a moment there.
Then I had to turn to you and say, "James, just sit down."
Yeah, but the bigger seats were at the back as well, so it looked better. But the thing is, I was glad in the end because I sat right at the front, and I wore my glasses so I could enjoy the screen in as good resolution as possible. Yeah, I've got some glasses which help with the watching of films on a cinema. And
What does
reading.
that mean? What?
Varifocals.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had vision issues.
Well, I do with holding, reading something close up. Yeah.
Well, then why would that help you with watching a film?
Well, it brings that. It's also with that. It brings it into slight better focus. I think there's some truth in you saying. You said don't go down that path of wearing glasses because then your eyes get used to the glasses.
That's correct. They get lazy.
But you know, if you notice a little bit of sharpness by putting on glasses to watch a film in the cinema, I mean, surely that's good.
Did you put your glasses on and you were sat at the front?
Yeah,
Bloody hell.
right at the front. I was really into that film, if you know what I mean.
You were like in the film.
I was, and I didn't even go to the toilet during. Oh, I went out to the toilet once.
Oh, you
and you
did,
went to the toilet at the same time, didn't you?
Yeah, because I went on. I turned to my girlfriend and said, "I just need to go to the toilet." She had to move. I got out, went to the toilet, and I felt a presence behind me as I was like unbuckling my pants.
Oh,
This is completely true. It was just
James in the
coincidental.
men's room.
And it was James following me in there, and I thought, "Oh, bloody hell!"
Typical.
I didn't even time that. That was just we have the same kind of
To
bladder.
be fair, Josh, you should have been prepared for that. That he would have followed you into the men's room, just as you were unbuckling. You know what I mean? You should have been on guard. For
It was
that.
just a recreation of the scene from The Shining, but without any Advocaat.
Did you get any? Did you have any one-on-one time with Ager at all, Josh?
Yeah, at the end before he left, that was what me and James were. Basically what happened was James was like, "I'm going to go." Like at one point, he said, "This is all a bit much. I'm going." Like,
much.
So I said, "All right, okay, well," because I thought he was actually leaving,
Oh,
going.
No, I just went outside for a sit down.
So he went outside for an hour, which is when he was talking to my girlfriend, and I was literally sat next to Jan Harlan, who was getting absolutely livid at the projection. And
They seem to have like students doing all of the technical things, like the cameras and stuff, and
I just
sometimes
think
they didn't really know what they were doing properly.
I think they were okay. They were okay. I mean, they did quite a good job. I think it's just that the room wasn't set up. It was a meeting.
Yeah, I'm only joking. Yeah.
It wasn't set up for that. But yeah, then you came back in, and I said, right, I'm going to actually go and get a picture with Jan Harlan, and then I turned round after I got the picture, and Rob was stood there, and I said, "Oh, Rob," and then Rob Ager turned to me and was like, "Oh, it's Josh, isn't it?" Yeah, and I said,
No, but he said that when you were watching after the screening as well.
"Yeah,
didn't
that's right, yeah."
he? Just didn't you interview me once or something?
Yeah, he said, "Did we do an interview once?" I said, "No, we've never done an interview." And then that was the Sunday, the day after. And he said, "Yeah, I don't know why I thought we'd done an interview." And I said, "No, we've never done that." I said, I think I've commented on some videos." He said, "Yeah, I just recognize your name." I said, "Okay." And then I said, "Oh, that video you did on Arthur C. Clarke was really good about whether he was a nonce or not."
You didn't say that.
Did you say it that way? Tell the truth.
I did. I said that
Oh, he
video.
must have loved that. Okay.
That video
It
you did
wasn't
on-
called that, was it?
That video you did on Arthur C. Clarke about whether he's a nonce, and Rob Ager genuinely like, "Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, that was a bad one, that wasn't it?" Like that. Except he was in a Scouse accent. And he said, "Yeah, I didn't know whether I was going to put that one out there or not because it was a bit more."
But what relevance does his being a nonce or not have to do with 2001, etc.? Or
It doesn't. It was just a study on him, personally. But then I was talking to him about
what conclusion did Ager come to about that?
that he I think he thinks he was. Yeah. But I said to him, "Oh, I remember I bought like a DVD from you like 15 years ago with all your short films on," and he went, "Yeah, they're fucking shit, aren't they?" And I went, "Well," I said, "the first one was pretty good." And he was like, "Yeah," and then he said, "Oh, I did a feature film like 10 years ago, and I don't know what the fuck I was thinking with that." This is when just before you came into the room and like.
Oh no, he was saying something about how he put like really disturbing stuff in it.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, but he said he filmed it with like the worst cameras available to man.
Well, anything can seem like that nowadays because things have advanced so far, digital wise.
Yeah, but 10 years ago you could still get good cameras, good digital.
Well, he probably just used ones which were not very advanced for the time, even so.
I think he was using tape, if I'm being honest.
Pardon?
I think he was like recording it to like one of those camcorders that has tape in it.
Oh, like from the 80s?
Yeah. No, well, 90s.
Or 90s.
Yeah.
Or even early 2000s. Well, who knows? But, I haven't seen it, so.
Did he comment on your model?
He turned around and said, "Is that yours over there in the corner?" Like that with his accent, and I said, "Yeah, is he?" Fucking shit, that. I said, "Yeah."
He didn't say that.
No, he didn't really, but he did say, which was took me a bit by surprise because I was like,
"What the hell? This is the level that it's gotten to?"
What? I don't know what you're talking about. Can we just?
"What was that noise just then?"
Sorry, I was getting a bit excited because of Charlotte Nightstar, the werewolf's comments.
Wow.
Phantom Cooper says, "I wonder how Josh feels about the sexy vampire fandom."
I love sexy vampires.
Mm.
I'd love to have a tattoo of a sexy vampire on my back or something like that.
I actually already have a tattoo of Ashton when she appeared on the show, just sort of like saying nothing, staring into the camera for about 30 minutes. That's on the bottom of my back.
Oh, where the fuzzy hair grows at the bottom of your back?
With a USB port.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I apologise for that sound.
What happened at the end of the conversation, just as Rob Ager picked up his small suitcase and left with his girlfriend? He said, and he said this to me, James, by the way. I'm just telling you that now.
As opposed to, you mean not to me?
Not to you or the room, just directly to me.
Mm-hmm.
He said, if you ever come down to Liverpool, and give me a shout, and we'll meet up for something to eat.
What, he specified having something to eat?
Yeah.
Well, how will you give him a shout? Did you exchange contact information?
That means he wants to make you pay.
Yeah, probably. I said, is your email the best way to get in touch? He said yes.
No. All right. Well, then you should go.
After that, though, what's more important is he did keep remember our names well, because we were the people who obviously his fans. So he was like James, and he made an effort, and he kept calling me James. He said, "Okay, then see you, James." And then I went out, and he came past me, and he went, "See you, James." And I was like, "See you." And it's like during that moment, as he said, "See you, James," to me.
Well, hang on. What? So this whole thing.
So he said to see you to me last.
No, he
after
didn't.
Josh. So he forgot about Josh within that.
Of the people who were at this event, what percentage of them were Ager fans?
And suddenly everything went into slow motion as he passed me, and it was like, "See you, James," and he gave like a wink at me, and I was like,
"Yeah." And then we went.
It was like when
we went and had a coffee, and you bought me a one of them little Frappuccino bottles, and you said, "That's all you're getting." All right. I said, "All right, bloody hell." Chill. And then you said, "We're sitting outside because I want to feel the breeze on my ass, chaps." I was like,
"No, I offered to buy more things, but you said you didn't need anything."
Yeah, that's true.
I says, "Don't feel bad because Ager said see you to me first."
Yeah.
And then also said it in slow motion and winked at me.
Yeah.
And it made me feel like if you've watched the New Kids on the Block reunion video they did for summertime, it's on. It's like when they got back together. And I was just thinking, just God, imagine that. Me, you, and Ager, like shirtless in Liverpool town centre, living it up, tanned with abs. Just like, oh yeah, come on.
I think that when Voltaire finally packs in the law and, you know, decides that he wants the real, you know, his actual career path takes off, that maybe he could finally come on camera and he could come to Liverpool with us and meet
That'd
Rob.
be great.
You know,
and go see Rob Ager. Yeah. Of the people who were at that event, what percentage of them were Ager fans, and what percentage were just there for the Kubrick stuff?
I think 99% were there for Kubrick.
So it was
Is
like
that right?
Yeah.
70-30.
70-30?
Yeah.
I don't think there were many. Not a lot of them seemed that
I believe your lady
into YouTube stuff. Maybe.
Well, you would do. You know.
Well, 30 sounds right, but if there wasn't that many Ager fans, then I guess you guys would stand out to him. If you know.
He was talking to like we only got to talk to him at the very end. He was talking to a lot of other people, and I think the reason why he was there was because he wanted to basically chew Jan Haaland's ear off, which is what he did.
I want to do that.
You know,
I actually felt like he wanted to meet his fans more. Like there was, you know, like when I was wearing that, he pointed out. He said, "Hey, I was the first and the last person he said hello to on that Sunday morning." He was like, because he saw me, and I was sat at the front. No, I was sat there wearing my Yes T-shirt, and I just knew that the lead singer John Anderson is from Lancashire. Ager knew that, and he was like, because he's up on these things, and he saw me and he went, "Hey, like the T-shirt," and I was like, "Oh, thanks a lot." Thank you.
You didn't have a comment of one of his obscure videos
then,
like Josh did, and got
no,
to
my eyes were just on him, like non-stop. After that, I was like, "This is a meeting of the minds." And then
you saw that video that I sent to you, Voltaire, and I also sent it to Kevin Ball. Actually, it was a video of James sort of frozen, like he was sort of paralyzed on the spot.
That happens to him when he's near celebrities. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just sort of stood there frozen, like next to Rob Ager, and I was like, "Just go and say something to him, mate. Just go and say something to him, mate." And he was like, "Fucking hell," like that. He couldn't do it.
Well, at least he got up to him. Remember, he couldn't get within 10 feet of Christabel when he had the opportunity. He was,
that was just fear, though.
Yeah.
So I was worried that I might have an accident.
You were frozen in that video, Josh, saying like you were like deer in headlights type of thing, you know. But I guess it's intimidating to meet your hero, Rob Ager.
No, Josh was talking to him more casually than me.
Well, Josh is used to mingling with celebrities like him, and
he bonded me with on a deeper level of like, you know, yeah, we both like Yes. What's wrong with uplifting pop music? And I was like, "Hey, give the next video, good idea." You know?
Speaking of videos, I really thought that the Q&A he did with Jan Haaland would be out by now, but I don't know where that's.
No, I know. I messaged him about it today, and he said, "What's happening, Rob? Where is it?"
He's not responded though.
Well, yeah, I did give Rob Ager a model of the co-op. It was that I made out of a Clark shoebox where I got banned from the co-op, and he said, "That's amazing, James. Thank you. I will treasure this. It's a momentous occasion."
Exciting.
He said, "Did you actually get banned? I heard you maybe got banned from Greg's in Morecambe." And I said, "I don't actually think there is a Greg's in Morecambe." And we had a right laugh then.
So, you know, if you're a Rob Ager fan, you would have had a chance to have some face-to-face time with him, it sounds like, at this event.
Yeah.
You'd think you would have taken James the time to, like, maybe go through some of your favorite videos of his so you could, you know, bring up some points with him or something like that. But you didn't bother doing that, did you?
I did. I mentioned, I said, "You've got me into Animal Mother." And he went, "Oh, yeah, I didn't have any chance to talk about that after the Full Metal Jacket." Animal Mother's one of the characters in the second half of the film, who's a bit like a kind of Rambo parody in a way. And Josh made a good point of like, where did he get all this ammo from? And why is he sort of dressed like that? And why has he got it wrapped all around his arms? And when you look at it, you think, yeah, this film is a bit off. Like, it's not as realistic as maybe you might have thought it was. I mean, to suggest really that Full Metal Jacket is a realistic war film, of course, is ridiculous. But I think, especially when you're young, you just watch a lot of things like that film without questioning almost. But, you know, I mean, it is quite a strange film for sure. So, Animal Mother is by the same actor who played the bodyguard character in the film My Bodyguard. Have you never watched that? It's like an early 80s sort of...
Well, with Kevin Costner?
Film. No, not The Bodyguard, My Bodyguard.
No.
Surely you remember the character of Animal Mother. He's the one who's like the tough, big dude who goes right up to Private Joker and says, you know, like, so you're Private Joker or whatever, you know, but not in a Derbyshire accent.
Which I don't know what you're talking about now.
What?
Which character?
Animal Mother. And on top of his helmet, it says, I have become death, or I am become death, which in itself is ridiculous. Like, if he's supposed to be this gung-ho sort of Rambo wannabe, why would he have a quote from Oppenheimer on top of his helmet? You know, seems a little bit like out of the ballpark. With Joker, it's somewhat understandable why he might have Born to Kill on his helmet and then he wears a peace badge, because he's sort of a bit of a, you know,
some kind of sick joke.
Yeah, but he's obviously a journalist in the initially at least. But all they're doing is just basically writing propaganda.
I'd like to know what Davrin thinks about this conversation, because I know he's such a big fan of Kubrick. So
I don't really think he's into all them. I think to be particularly interested in Full Metal Jacket, you've got to sort of immerse yourself in it somewhat, and I'm not sure he would want to do that. Because, like I said, when I was watching it at the front of the auditorium and everything, I really did feel like literally I was in it. And I think some of the actual setups in the film and the kind of just the way it was all created is, I mean, it's similar in a way, but you're doing it on a miniature level with your sets. That's all your creations, models. Some of the creations, like in the initial scenes where it moves to Vietnam and everything, like that initial shot where the prostitute is walking up and the camera's coming behind her, like there's no way you would guess that's actually just filmed in London. I mean, it's on Beckton Power Station. It's just incredibly well done, you know, and all the expense that must have gone into it. Well, I'm not feeling a lot of enthusiasm for this topic from Voltaire, but anyway.
I haven't seen the movie all the way through in quite some time. So, I mean,
well, if you can get to see it in 4K or something and really get into it, then yeah.
Well, of course, I like the movie. It's certainly the first half of the movie is brilliant, but I haven't seen it.
Well, that's a very conventional thing. Then an Ager beg to differ on that.
Yeah, that was another thing that came up during the Q&A.
And I would agree with Ager. Like, I think I'm almost over familiar with the first part, so in a way, but then I really do like the second part of the film more, which is actually longer. So,
you know, when I was talking about the guy who came around today to buy something, he was at the festival and we were talking about Full Metal Jacket, and he was saying he'd like some Full Metal Jacket miniatures, and he said apart from, like, you know, the bathroom in the barracks, like he couldn't think of another kind of thing. And then I started talking to him about how Stanley Kubrick was obsessed with bathrooms, because if you think about it, in every single film of Stanley Kubrick's, there's a scene in a bathroom at some point.
It's like my brother when we'd go on summer holidays or something. I called him like the bathroom reviewer, because he'd always, whenever there was a chance to go to a bathroom at any point, he would go to it.
In 2001, there's a bathroom scene.
No, but there's the bit in 2001 where Floyd's staring at the how to go to the toilet manual. It's
literally like a monolith level or sized shaped, you know, list of how to use the toilet, which seems unnecessarily long, which could be just a bit of a joke, or it could be a little bit of a sort of, you know, I think it's sort of to do with what are we supposed to really read into in this film. if you can understand what I mean.
Yeah, but I think there's
Yeah.
something to what Josh says that Kubrick was has some kind of fascination with bathrooms. Now that he mentions it, like I feel like
No, I think
Eyes Wide
he,
Shut, there's at least a couple of few bathroom scenes, aren't there?
no, I think he actually ran into trouble initially. I don't know what the first film of his was that showed a toilet, but the classification, you know, in America, the classifications, they wouldn't allow a toilet be in a film.
What?
They literally didn't, and that's part of why Kubrick wanted it in.
No, you're just taking it out.
No, it's true. It's true. Because when you look at the actual code for how films were rated and all that kind of thing, if they saw a toilet in a film, they're literally like, this is an X, you know, or this is BAM, basically.
Psycho didn't have an X rating, did it?
Well, that was at the point where it was changing, you know.
No, you're full of shit.
Yeah,
I'm not. It's true. I've read about this. It's not a lie.
No,
Do you think that people would have been like, if you go back to films like Casablanca or Citizen Kane, you don't see people sitting on the toilet, do you?
Well, no, but when would you need? Well, right,
it's part of people's lives, isn't it? So,
right. Well, you never see somebody taking a shit in a Kubrick film, but there's still bathrooms.
no, but I think it's not so much it's not like they filmed people on the toilet using it with all the noises or something. It's not like Jack Torrance goes to the shitter in The Shining. And he doesn't.
That'd have been a good scene, though.
It's the shots of them. Like, for instance,
That's a lost opportunity.
Lynch was a bit similar, like in Wild at Heart. There's this shot of just the toilet bowl and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you just think, why is that there? You know, I can't tell you.
Well,
why.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to go through all the films now and think about bathrooms.
Was there one in Clockwork Orange?
Oh yeah. There was the when he's in the bath.
Oh, right, of course.
When he's in the bath doing Singing in the Rain. There's one in Shining.
Yeah, but the average films around, say, before the 60s or whenever, like Psycho, they do. If they showed someone in the bath, they wouldn't show the toilet as well because it would be seen as being in bad taste.
I'm pretty sure you do see the toilet in Psycho though.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm saying before that. I think that Psycho was, you know, a breakthrough for shots of toilets.
You mean you're saying that Hitchcock tried to get Psycho cleared and he said, "I'm putting the fucking toilet in there." Is that what you're saying?
He filmed the toilet anyway because he wanted a realistic bathroom scene where Norman is. You can't really show Norman cleaning up the bathroom and all that without showing the toilet in there as well. If there is a toilet in there, I mean, you know, it's got to look realistic, hasn't it? So, and clearly it's a motel, so there's either going to be a separate room for a toilet or not. And that Hitchcock liked to establish, you know, where the toilet is in each film. Like, is the toilet in the bathroom? Is the toilet in a separate room? I need to know. Otherwise, the film's not realistic. It's cinema verite.
Is there a bathroom in Doctor Strangelove? There's definitely
no idea. But if you think of Eyes Wide Shut, that's when he really, you know, hit the high note in terms of having Nicole Kidman actually on the toilet. So, not shitting or anything. She was just weeing.
As far as you know.
Because they recorded it. No, they recorded it with a mic that was actually attached.
Yeah.
Just like they put it on the side of her pants, and it was like
it was a lavalier mic attached to a vagina.
Mm-hmm.
No, not that. It was just on the. It was just on the thong.
Lips.
On the lips, right? Yeah. Oh, by the way,
Ega said, "I love that part of the film."
That's another thing that James kept doing. He's got these two little lavalier mics that he connects to his phone, right? Via Bluetooth. Yeah, pick it up and show people what it looks like so that they know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I didn't realise you have to actually charge the mics. I kept putting the mics on people, and then they just cut out. And I was like, "This mic's not working."
He was tapping me on the shoulder while we were sat at this round table discussion, tapping me on the shoulder, shaking, trying to stick a lavalier mic on me, saying, "Here, put that on now.
Put that on. We'll get some great dialogue here." Yeah. Oh, it stopped working. What's this? Oh,
put that on. We'll go and start talking to Ega. is what he said to me.
Yeah, why didn't you try to do a little interview with Ager?
I would have done it if I really felt more prepared.
Were you a bit starstruck? I'm not even making a joke.
Yeah,
It wasn't
about
that.
starstruck. It's just like you only had seen someone on a video, so.
Well, also the situation wouldn't allow for us to. It wasn't like, there wasn't a lot of time to do that.
He was literally, like when he was going off, he says, I've got to go and get a train now and stuff.
You could have said to him, "What do you think of Lynch then?"
I think he did.
Oh no, I did actually. I said to him, "I've got a good video idea for you." He says, "I've got like 740 subscribers, so listen. If you want to grow your YouTube channel, do a video on Twin Peaks: The Return." And then he just went, "Well, that's what I've got to watch yet." And I was like, "For fuck's sake!" That let me down, honestly. When Ager said that, I was like, I don't know if I want this conversation to finish. But he became like pally after that, and I was like, okay, that moment when he was leaving, and it was the fact that he said hello to me first that day, and then bye to me for last. That made me think this is something big, and through Josh as well. Like obviously, if Josh invites himself to go and meet him in Liverpool and stuff, he'll invite me at the same time, I imagine. So and we could like video it all. And I honestly do think, though, that you could find an opportunity with Rob and the way things are going for him, like where he seems to be trying to do different things, maybe, and a bit fed up.
He's making video games now. That's his whole thing.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but he's making different things. Yeah, he is making a video.
His video shitting on YouTube. He talks about.
No, I think that Josh's models and everything could be part of something that he made. Like, for instance, if you made a documentary and brought them into it and things.
Yeah, sure.
Well, he could use them for his illustrative purposes. And
Josh has got a working title documentary going called The Model Life. And it's a secret, Josh. I'm sorry. But, yeah, he's working on that. That's coming soon.
It's coming out, yeah. Yeah. It's about how there's a lot of bitchiness in the miniature world.
Well, yeah, you've shown me some of the examples of that. So. I can imagine. Some guy threatened to sue him and started sending him trying to threaten him with cease and desist stuff.
Suing him of what? Over what?
It was because I did a storefront from The Sopranos, and he had done it like, I don't know, maybe a year or two before me. And mine was. I mean, it's the building. You can't make it not look like the thing it's supposed to look like.
Well, he sent Josh some bullshit legal threats that were
it was
no merit.
It was
which building? Sorry,
The Sopranos.
Oh, right. But neither of you own the actual rights or something, so therefore.
No, the guy wrote something to Josh, which made it sound very convincing, like he'd been down this road before and found a way to somehow enforce this. You know what I mean? Just the kind of bullshit I hate. But he was full of shit. But Josh's point was, the reason I brought that up is because Josh said there's some, cuntiness in this modeling world.
It must have felt challenged by you produced.
I didn't think that at first, but as the years gone on, since then, I do think that is the case. I think. Has
he ever contacted you again?
He contacted me again. This is the interesting thing. He did get back in touch. He got back in touch and said, look, I'm sorry. I've got bipolar and I was having an episode, and this is all true. And he said, it's true.
That's not funny, James.
He said,
I'm not saying it's funny. I've got personal experience of this. It just seems to excuse fighting over models because I'm bipolar. It's like, I don't think that's specific necessarily to that condition. I think
maybe he was in a manic episode.
But he's just trying to excuse himself, really, rather than just taking possession.
He said, I've got bipolar. I've had an episode. I'm in a hotel. It makes it even worse.
Someone throwing spoons in a box.
Throwing spoons opposite me. And then he said, look, I'm really sorry about the whole thing. Let's just call it off. Bygones be bygones. I'll start following you again on Instagram. So I said, okay, that's fine. I didn't follow him back because I thought, you've pissed me off too much. I'll give me a couple of months or a year and I might start talking to you. And I came one day, like maybe a couple of months later, to see what he'd been up to recently, and he blocked me again. So, I mean, the man's got something wrong with him.
Reminds me a bit of myself, that.
Yeah, that's right. Constantly blocking and unblocking people. That's par for the course. Oh well.
That's what I've done with Rob Ager on Facebook as well. I kept adding him and then deleting him.
Yeah, I know you got very infuriated by his Revenge of the Nerds video, so you blocked him for a while.
I haven't even watched that. Is it any good?
I watched the first half. I've been meaning to get back to finish it. And look, the man knows how to analyze things, and he knows how to talk that even if he's talking bollocks, it makes some sense, and he's good at explaining things. I don't know.
He's really, yeah, but like those films, obviously,
man is interesting. I can't.
He's probably just trying a different tack to, like, you know, to do a comedy and something which is more lighthearted. But
he doesn't do it in a comical fashion. I mean, I thought his whole 3PO video would be completely ridiculous and ludicrous, and I even though I was watching it like tongue in cheek, I said, the guy's making some valid points that are very interesting. I have to.
No, but I do think he's missing a trick with his not doing a video on, say, Twin Peaks Firewall with Me or any of Twin Peaks: The Return, because he could really make something of all that.
I'd like to see his analysis on things that I like, but I think he has to like something. There's a reason he's done like 17, 20, 2001 videos, you know, and 28 videos. Yeah.
He doesn't seem to jump on things that are popular, say, at the time. I mean, even when Twin Peaks was back again in 2017, 18, he wasn't jumping on Fire Walk with Me and doing videos.
Yeah. He has interesting
proclivities. Well, no, he's more interested in just things that he, you know, is focused on. But a lot of his films that he's interested in are pretty popular. Come on.
Why would he make a movie for a video about what is Revenge of the Nerds? 40 years old? When did it come out? Yeah. You know, 85 or something? I mean, he just decides now to put out a video on Revenge of the Nerds. Like, he's got.
I think he's just whatever takes his fancy and whatever he's.
I think that's just a bit of an experiment.
I mean, he did one on like Starship Troopers at one point, didn't he?
Oh, I didn't see that. I like that movie. I'd be interested to have this take.
Well, I mean, come on, Kubrick has been easily as popular as Lynch throughout time. You know, if not more, I would say.
Kubrick is significantly more popular than Lynch, I would say.
Yeah, more in the wide sort of mainstream world. Yeah,
yes.
Kubrick is known as a cult thing, and then beyond that. Whereas Lynch is generally more cultish. So, I hope I pronounced that right when I said cultish. And moving on to a different topic. Anyway, I just mentioned that that series I watched on Sky Atlantic was called A Friend of the Family. I don't know if any of you have heard about it. It's got Anna Paquin in it and Colin Hanks, I think. But it's about basically it's a true story, these Mormons, and it's where this guy abducted their daughter 4 times.
Mormons.
And it was under the pretense of like him. He kind of created this fake situation where she was being almost abducted by aliens and then made to sleep with him. He like played these messages and stuff over in the camper van they were in and stuff.
Mm.
Have you ever heard about this true story?
No, I've not. But I mean, now that you said that there's a girl who's kidnapped several times from a Mormon family, that rings somewhat familiar. But no, I can't say that. Mormon, sorry. Yeah. Lots of them out here in my area.
Yeah, apparently, it's Abducted in Plain Sight is the documentary that it's based on.
But the film, but there's also a documentary based on this series as well, A Friend of the Family. So it's it's not like it shows anything, you know, like less so than even say Firewall with Me or something in terms of the abuse, but it's still watchable.
Yeah, because it's where the dad tosses him off.
Mm.
Oh, that story.
Yeah, and the mum shags him.
Oh, yeah, I know it now. I know that.
The mum shag?
Oh yeah, no, the dad. They get the dad played by Colin Hanks to give him a wank.
Yeah. Yeah, I know this story now. Where they went to Mexico.
Yes.
Yeah, it's insane. It's genuinely insane.
He told me that it was a true story. I was like, "What? This wasn't a dream you had?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" It was like,
it's crazy, but
he takes the daughter to Mexico, and then comes back, and then says, "I just want to wank you off or something." Wanks off the dad.
No, the dad wanks him off.
Oh, the dad wanks him off.
This is two men waking each other off.
So it's just a question of,
hell.
and then he also seduces the mother as well.
Then he has sex with the mum.
Gay Mormons. I didn't know that was allowed.
Mormons.
Gay homosexual Mormons. I didn't think that was a thing.
I mean, this is right up at Ager's alley, I think.
I would think so. He would be all over that.
Definitely, yeah. What's this? I don't know anything about it because I'm so pissed off that. I mean, I should look into it really. I think I've been putting it off because I've still got PTSD from the OA being cancelled. But what's this thing with Brit Marlin, James? What's this all about?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, actually, yeah.
Are you?
It's starting on Disney Plus next week on Tuesday. Or
Oh, is
Hulu
this
in the
series?
States. It was called Retreat, then they changed the title to A Murder at the End of the World.
That's
7
on
episodes.
FX here in the United States, everybody.
FX, not Hulu, sorry.
Well,
And,
Hulu, FX is shown on Hulu as well. So
Oh,
you're not
okay,
100% wrong.
I was half right. So Joan Chen is in it as well, not the lead character.
Hero.
Poirot, but channeled through Nicholas Winding Wren. So
What about Nicholas? What?
imagine it as that, as Poirot channeled through. That's one review that I read about it, but I don't know if anyone.
They compared her work to Refn?
This new one, anyway. I think that it's quite stylish in terms.
Wait,
of
they're
its
using
film.
Refn as a reference for style? Really? That's very pretentious.
Well, it'll probably be more similar in style to like
How many people
a
know
murder
who that
mystery
is?
version of the O, isn't it?
How
Yeah.
many people would know who that is? That is really a pretentious reviewer, whoever wrote that. I know what that means. I love Refn's work, but how many people actually do know that? That's like a
What
really.
did Windy Refn do again?
What are you talking about? Baby, whatever driver. That's what I mean. Not Baby Driver. A Drive. Only God Forgive.
Oh, Drive. Yeah.
Too old to drive.
Too old to die young.
wasn't it?
Right. Exactly.
No.
See my point, but that's what my point by that reviewer. See, Josh, who watches a lot of shit,
Too old to drive.
doesn't get the reference because that's a pretentious twat who wrote that. That is really.
I know who he is.
I know you do know who he is, but
Too
that
old
reference-
to go to Ipswich. That's
Too old to be in a hotel.
by yourself.
too young to cope with Ipswich.
Yes, he did Bronson. That's correct, Will Graham. Absolutely.
Did he do that thing with Mark Ruffalo with the twins?
I don't think so. I don't think he's.
No, I think that's a different TV show, wasn't it?
I thought that was Refn too.
No, I think
Who did that then? The thing where Mark Ruffalo plays a twin who.
Oh, that certainly was a Refn. That was nowhere near that work. That Ruffalo show was okay, but I wouldn't even call it like, from a directorial standpoint, I didn't see anything fantastic in that. Refn's work is outstanding and very unique.
Oh yeah, he did Bronson. That's right.
Right.
the Neon Demon.
Neon Demon. Yeah, that's not one of my favorite things he's done, but the guy stylistically is brilliant. So, but that reference is a really cunty, pretentious reference by a critic. Honestly.
Well, he's just a lot of people who are into films at a certain level would know that reference.
What percentage of people who are going to? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I
don't
wouldn't
know,
read anything.
about 20% of film fans, probably 30%.
Maybe.
I
don't know if it goes 30. Certainly not.
Drive is a pretty famous film.
Yeah,
Just that
Drive's probably his biggest film. I think. But I'll tell you who hated Drive. Back on the subject. Back on the topic. Rob Ager. Rob Ager hated.
Did
Drive.
he?
Yeah.
Really? I love Drive. Like that movie, every time I watch it, I like it more. The first time I saw it, I was like, it's okay. But on subsequent viewings, it's just more and more. You really fall in love.
I remember the biggest grievance he had with it was the bullet and the hammer to the head. He was like, "Fucking stupid." He was really angry.
Yeah, I got to see if he did a video on that. I'll watch that.
the hammer to the head. What? I can't remember that.
The bullet, and he puts the bullet on the forehead and the hammer, and threatens to hammer it into the guy's head.
Oh, is that what it made? I mean, sure, there must have been. Did he do a video about it or?
Not about that specifically, but about Drive. Yeah, and that came into it. But there was something that I wanted to mention to Rob Ager actually I know we keep talking about Rob Ager like he's, like we bumped into Nicolas Cage or something. But I wanted to talk to him about Craig Zahler, because I'm a big fan of. I am still a big fan of that film he did, Bone Tomahawk, and then he did those two films with
Vince Vaughn and Drag Me, Cell Block, or what is it called? Brawl on Cell Block 9 or something like that.
Brawl in Cell Block 99.
And then Drag Me on Concrete.
It's Brawl on Cell Block 69.
Yeah.
And then Dragged Across Concrete.
Across Concrete, yeah. I love all three of those films. Are very
like
good. Tomahawk is a fucking shocking film, but just out of nowhere gets weird. But yeah.
Bone Tomahawk.
Could have said that without the F word, please.
One of the best films I saw I saw it last year for the first time. It's one of the best.
Oh, really? No, it's like.
But seriously, can I just ask, is it better than Retribution 2023? I'll just give you the synopsis. Whilst driving his kids to school, Berlin-based American businessman Liam Neeson learns that his vehicle is rigged with explosives. Sky original film.
Yeah, sounds great.
That's a new one. If you're interested, it's only.
You haven't seen Bone. You haven't seen Bone Tomahawk, have you?
No.
What about that Brawl on Cell Block?
Yes, I saw that one. That one's really ridiculous, but enjoyable.
Stylistic. You said not enjoyable or enjoyable?
No, I did find it enjoyable.
Yeah, it is enjoyable. His work is enjoyable.
That was the best one. Dragged Across Concrete wasn't as good, I didn't think.
I think they go in order of my enjoyment of them. So Bone Tomahawk's best, and then Brawl, and then Dragged Across Concrete was my least favorite of the three. But I still enjoy. If he'd only done Dragged Across Concrete, I'd have still been like, oh, I want to see something else from that guy. You know what I mean?
If Gary's right that Liam sits in the car for the entire movie.
Pissing his pants is my understanding.
Because that's what if you look at the actual film on the TV now, you see.
All right. The guy's just trying to make hay while the sun shines, as they say, and make as many of these shit movies.
Yeah, he's running out of time.
There's another one there, Da Vinci Code. I know that Josh is a massive fan of that.
I mean, when he made that movie about the truck driver thing. Yeah, like on
English Netflix, that is a new premiere now. Even though it was on there before, they take it off, then it's new again.
I think that Liam Neeson,
absolute bullshit.
I think that Liam Neeson should have his own streaming service.
He could,
and it's just Liam Neeson films,
like and him doing improv at some point, or impressions. Yeah.
I would like to see a film where he just goes out and he says, I really want to get that black bastard.
Yeah, that'd be good too.
Because I watched a film last night where they were using the N-word very unsparingly, just...
You and your friends were using the N-word?
It was a Kurt Russell film called Dark Blue. It's like a cop film from the early 2000s.
Deep Blue.
He keeps... One of the characters in it, played by... Domhnall Gleeson, keeps calling Ving Rhames calls him like the N-word in it. And it's like, I was just thinking, this wouldn't happen now in a film.
Domhnall Gleeson?
Is he called Domhnall Gleeson? Or what's the name of the actor? Brendan, I mean.
Oh, you're on about Donald.
That's his son, isn't it?
Yeah, his son's Domhnall Gleeson, and he's...
Don't get me all confused, please.
He's a Domhnall.
It's too easily done. Domhnall. That's the place to get down to if you want some fun, I tell you. Domhnall.
Yeah, down in Morecambe, get down to Domhnall. I want to see more from Craig Zahler. That's what I wanted to mention.
Has he not done a movie in a while? Wow.
No, he's not done one since Dragged Across Concrete.
That's crazy. What's going on, I wonder?
I think what's happened is he's had a 3-film deal with whatever studio they came out with, and they've just decided that, and I think he's basically starting from scratch trying to get another film deal. That's what it looks like to me.
Sounds like you need to get on it.
Yeah.
Just be as because
I think the other thing about him is that he seems quite maybe not particularly PC which might not work in his favor now.
Well, that was kind of the point of his film, slightly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Be a bit shocking, you know.
Yeah. Well, getting Mel Gibson in your film and, Vince Vaughn. And...
Yeah, but that's the thing is, like, even though I expected a bit more from that film with Mel Gibson being in it, you see.
Well, Vince Vaughn and Mel Gibson, I had high hopes for the film, truthfully.
Like, I thought Mel Gibson would just sort of like kick off and start calling people twinkle toes,
sugar
and
tits,
sweet ass, or something. Yeah. And raging against Hispanic people or something.
Mm-hmm. Talking about the Jews taking over Australia, yeah.
This kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Having a drunken, a bit like when Josh was at the film festival, really.
Oh, here we go.
I saw him. It's like there was a piano playing and everything, and just after he'd seen Rob Avery, he went right up to the bar there, and it's like quite old-fashioned Art Deco and stuff. And he went, "Yes, I'll have a martini, shaken, not stirred." And I was like, "Oh God, what's gonna happen next?" And then Lottie went, "Wait and see." And then I saw Josh has his hand over the top of the bar, reaching into the till, and he grabbed out like a massive whack of 20s. It must have been about £5,000 or something. He said, and he went, "Let the fun begin." Like that. I was like, fucking hell, this man means business. You know. Then we went and blew it all on that 2p a cart at Pleasureland. 2p arcade.
Well, that's when I filmed you and it went viral.
Yeah, it got 2.2k views. Just randomly for no reason.
Did that get you like 200 followers, that video?
No, it got me 8.
Oh, 8.
I think people are all subscribed because they think I'm just going to be going around arcades putting like 2p in machines and stuff. So.
I like your girl goes, "There's kids. Don't film kids in here."
No, I said that.
Oh, you said that.
I said I feel a bit uncomfortable walking around filming
filming a 40-year-old man walking through this place with
pumping
kids.
a 2p machine.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Questionable.
Quite normal, even. It's just how to have a good time in Morecambe, and I was showing people, and that's why the people watched it. They're like, "Yeah, we'll go to Pleasureland when we go to."
Well, I mean, I've taken my son in there, and I it's you. Obviously, when they're that young, they have a good time and stuff. They don't really recognize scum, basically.
Yeah.
Like some of the people that go in there, it's like fucking hell.
I can imagine.
People walking around the machines trying to make you money.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
People like on the machines who've pissed themselves, and I did actually see someone in there like with a whole bottle of Buckfast.
Yeah. As soon as it comes out, as soon as like we're out of the building, I say, "Right, give me your hands. I'm going to wipe them down with this anti-bac wipe."
Oh, it's like that. Jesus.
Yeah.
No, after that, we all went back to my hotel and all got in the shower together, and we put like Daz Scour all over our body and inside it.
And we washed our clothes at the same time. It was good.
In the shower, yeah.
Then
the manager of the hotel came back
like in the
and said,
"Summer's crowded.
What's
like,
going on in there?"
Yeah.
I said, "I'm in a hotel in Morecambe. All right, just leave me alone."
Yeah, you were really bragging about that hotel room with your view and posting pictures of it and that kind of thing.
Well, I had to because the bed was so hard. I had to make the best of it,
It's good for your back now and again to sleep on a firm mattress.
Yeah, but not that firm, man. That was like, it was almost like Guantanamo Bay level of hardness.
Yeah, you complained about that last time, though. And you said you back to the same place.
No, that was the first time I went there. The second time was this other place, and it was in a bigger room there that was good, with a good soft mattress. But the first time I stayed, it was in a different hotel, and I lay on the bed for a long time, not realizing that there was this kind of very hard
penis
cover on top of it that needed to be taken off.
Oh, right.
And I thought, did this one have it? And then, so I stripped the entire bed. And then, I don't know if you've seen that film Surge, where Shaw goes completely mental. I just started ripping. I got a knife, from the where all the stuff that you can use on the side with the coffee and stuff, and I just ripped the entire mattress open in the middle and crawled inside it.
Yeah,
and I was like,
that's an interesting film. That Serge. It reminded me a lot of you actually.
yeah, well, I've not. I mean, I think anybody can empathise with it to a degree, but it's the sort of
where he loses the plot and starts robbing banks.
not to that level. Everyone gets a surge in and like, excitement and things, but he just took it to the next level. So
he goes because he works at an airport. He's like airport security. He goes to his colleague's house, like in the centre of London, like it's a shithole. And she's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "I thought
that was a nice place.
I thought I'd come around and help you set your TV up." And she's like, "All right, yeah, thanks. That's weird." But
I've got the lead, all right. Oh no, I've not got the lead. I'll go and get it for you now.
I'll go and get the HD.
Then we'll have sex afterwards, all right.
And then he runs back and like shags her, and he's like, "That reminded me of you a lot."
No, he's like, it's just non-stop energy, isn't he?
Mm.
I mean,
he goes around. The best bit is when he goes around to his mum and dad's house at the end, and his dad's like, "You're a fucking disgrace," like that to him.
No, you can't do anything with the washing machine. Leave it.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's like, "Do you need help, Dad? Do you need me to help you?" He's like, "No,
you don't know what to do with it.
Way, get out the bloody way."
Yeah, but everyone's got a dad like that. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And then you sit down for like the food and everything, and then you actually bite into the glass, and then your mouth starts bleeding, and you're like, "Oh, sorry."
Oh yeah, he bites into the glass. It's a good film, that actually. Have you seen it, Voltaire?
No, I haven't.
It's worth seeing.
It is worth seeing.
Surge, you're saying?
It's punctuated with him robbing banks throughout it as well.
Who's in it?
It's
Ben Whishaw. I don't know about anyone else famous.
He basically has he's obviously got mental problems, and he works as airport security. And one day he just sort of loses the plot and leaves work, and then just goes on this bad.
It does actually have Perry Fitzpatrick in it as that guy who keeps revving the quad thing.
Yeah.
I know him from when he used to work in Blockbuster in Beeston, and so I'm his best mate basically, and he keeps getting on his nerves, saying we stop making that noise.
Yeah,
it's making too much noise and everything.
Yeah,
but then he steals it at the end. That's the best part.
That's right. And then he gets run over on it, doesn't he?
Then he has a weird fight.
He has a weird fight with a guy, and then they start hugging each other or something. It's a really weird film, but it is very good.
He tries to hug him, and he says, "Get away from me, you fucking mental," or something.
That's right. Yeah.
It's hard to think, actually. But Will Graham pointing out Ben Shepherd actually has a crippling addiction to those 2p machines.
Is that Ben Shepherd from Good Morning Britain?
Yeah, I don't know about. I think he means Ben Whishaw. Actually, I don't know what it's talking about there. So yeah, the main thing to watch this week is A Murder at the End of the World.
Is that the movie Gary recommended?
I don't know which film he's talking about, honestly. Whether he's done it in a chat on Facebook or what, I think you have to presume we may have not have read that, Gary, and just give us the details here before we head off. But new on Netflix. I mean, if you go through Netflix and then look at new on Netflix, it's got The Suicide Squad new. That's not new.
Wait, Josh, did you see the Fincher movie?
The Killer? No, I've not seen it yet.
Mm.
Maybe we could watch that tonight.
If you want to be bored shitless.
Wow, come on now.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, come on.
I'm curious to get Josh's opinion on that. Well, no, I mean, I see. Well, you might find it slow.
But if you want a more exciting prospect, Josh, new on Netflix, The Negotiator with Samuel L. Jackson and Kevin Spacey, 1998.
That's not a bad film.
No, I mean, if Netflix wants to get people on its side and subscribing, having new on Netflix, the negotiator, that is an absolute.
Look, Netflix doesn't know how to advertise. So, what's his name who put out those Roald Dahl shorts on Netflix? I had no idea about those, and I'm a fan of both Roald Dahl and what's his name, Wes
I don't
Anderson.
think it's that they don't know how to. They must know how. I mean, they're massive. I think it's just that they don't care. They don't want
I guess
to.
so. That's their model, I guess. You're right. You're right. But those are really good. And I love Wes Anderson, and I'm the target audience for that. I had no idea that shit was on there.
I think the problem with Netflix is it's so popular, or certainly was, that even if it loses a certain amount of subscribers, it's still very popular.
So look, analysts have said it's going to die because they owe money. They keep raising rates. They said they were going to die with killing the password sharing, and guess what? They haven't died. So obviously, there's a strong fan base for them.
I think they need to overhaul their whatever you would call it. I don't know what the system, the menus, because why don't they say put Netflix originals, and then you go to that and it shows all the Netflix films and TV shows, and then you've got all the rest of the films that aren't Netflix films, and then you can have all the TV shows that are from other places. Because the thing is, right now, is you just basically end up scrolling non-stop for like an hour, and then you just fuck it, and then you just like put YouTube on or something.
Scrolling for an hour. I mean, that's a bit much, Josh. Come on.
I can scroll for about 45 minutes.
James,
but yeah, I do agree about the way it's set up. It's like it's basically aimed at people who will just watch anything, rather than people like Ager and ourselves who.
Yeah, but who is going to put on Wes Anderson's 4 Roald Dahl? Do you really think that somebody that works at like Poundland is going to go, oh, put this on? Do you know what I mean? Who's going to watch that?
I don't know, honestly. Yeah, I think it's like the only people who are watching it are people who like Wes Anderson,
or who read those
books, or interested in Roald Dahl. But the thing is, as Voltaire said, it just wasn't advertised that much. So, now if you look for it, it's just nowhere in the main screens. You have to search for it.
It's baffling, truthfully.
And honestly, it's some of the stuff they've got on there. It's like coming on Wednesday, Cold Pursuit, another Liam Neeson film.
Jesus,
it's like from 2019.
They got Black Klansman, which if you haven't seen that film, it's quite good. I enjoyed that. They got
what happened to Ice Road Trucking with Liam Neeson?
God damn, that is so that movie is a parody. Liam Neeson has a retarded brother, but he's one of the best truckers in the country.
Well, that's actually coming on again.
He catches some bullies.
On Netflix.
He catches some bullies bullying his retarded brother, and he beats the shit out of them.
It's under
the second best trucker is a piping hot 24-year-old woman. Girl. I mean, the movie is ridiculous.
She was struggling to find another job, so she had to learn how to drive a truck.
Or she's rough and tumble, and she's just.
You can drive a truck at 24, can
you? No, you wouldn't think you'd be. Well, actually, I represent a trucking company, and it is shockingly easy to get a trucking license.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh my God, it's like a 2-week course, and what they do is like they get people, and the trucking company also is a school for the trucking school. So they get you to take the trucking school, and when you graduate, you get a job with them, and part of your wages are going to go pay back the student loan for their trucking school.
Josh, are you aware that I just searched for Kubrick on Netflix, and then it gives you? Well, it doesn't. It's actually just gone to my general Amazon or whatever, but it's came up with different ways to watch The Shining, and it says 4K, and then it says watch now with BBC iPlayer. Is it in 4K on?
Yeah, on BBC.
BBC iPlayer.
Yeah.
Is it? I might have a look at that then.
Have you got a 4K TV?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. La-di-da. Somebody's doing well.
I like how you've got the poster up on your picture frame there. That's quite cool.
Yeah, well, I've just had to put it like that for the moment. It's I probably will put it in a frame, so that'll be good. No, I genuinely enjoyed attending, and thank you to you, Josh, of course.
Did you guys go to McDonald's again?
And your partner. I went down to Burger King.
Did you?
Yeah. It's like I couldn't believe how much it cost for just like a Whopper.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Joe Biden.
Burger King's always been expensive, though. Hasn't it?
Everything's expensive now.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I mean, I would prefer having a burger from Burger King than McDonald's. So, but I could have got the steak option. There was a better burger, but I didn't go for that.
I thought that Morecambe was famous for various meat pies and shit. Why didn't you enjoy some of those?
I don't know about meat pies. I didn't see any.
Morecambe does have pies, but like,
Yeah, see, they're famous for it.
I couldn't see any outlets for
what
pies.
was the guy called that came here and did the thing? The food guy.
Yeah, that's how I found that out. Right.
Yeah.
And he went to a soccer game with some people, and he
That big fat
Rate-
guy that eats all the time.
Rate my takeaway.
yeah, Man versus World,
Man
Man versus Food.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that show.
That's
Yeah,
the only
he
reason I know.
Came to Morecambe, he was like, I'm gonna get it. Yeah, he came to Morecambe, yeah. And he went to a football match. He was like,
Yeah.
look at this fucking pie. Like that.
Well, he's American, but yeah. Then he went with a bunch of rowdy
Well, we had-
Morecambe to the football
I
game.
bought them food, so I got like
Oh,
I had fish and chips. Josh had said, "I'll have a steak rare with bloody chips."
Jesus! Somebody takes you to dinner, Josh. You order the most expensive thing on the menu. Jesus Christ!
No, I can't remember what Josh
I
had.
always
What
try my hardest to do that, yeah.
what did Josh? You had a burger, didn't you?
I had a burger, yeah.
And Lottie had chips and some bread.
Oh, well, that's fascinating.
Well, I think this is important information for the 20.
Well, I mean, the Lottie had chips and bread. That's 2 carbohydrates. I mean, that's an interesting combination.
Yeah,
You saw it, baby.
yeah.
Well, it wasn't like there was a massive quantities of chips or bread. Like, but with my chips and fish, there was a lot. I will say that.
James was getting a bit like so greedy that he was eating his own food and eyeing up the chips and the bread.
Oh, Lottie, are you a vegetarian or something?
Well,
Um,
no, I had some of Josh's burger as well when he wasn't watching.
No,
I ate about half of the burger.
Spat in it.
No, I didn't. I said that burger looks delicious, and I want it.
Yeah.
And Josh was like, "All right, have a bite of it then if you want."
Yeah, she's a vegetarian, and we went to a pub, and there was literally no vegetarian options. So.
no, that's fine. It makes I figured.
The floor had a zigzag floor as well. When I saw that, I started having like this
Directions.
intense panic attack. Like I said,
It was like, look at this! Everywhere is influenced by Twin Peaks. For God's sake.
I feel like I'm in the Black Lodge now.
Shit ones on the floor.
Well, yeah, it was like that kind of a feeling though. It was scary. So, yeah. Anyway, I think I'd just like to say thank you for you two for coming on tonight. Been a good reunion. So,
Mm-hmm. The pleasure's been all yours. I'm sure.
thank you to Lottie as well.
Yes.
And I will go and lay out the rubber sheets shortly now, I think, and just maybe have a salmon sandwich with some cheese on it.
You've got to make sure that it's toasted, a toasted cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
It will be. I'm going to get some sourdough bread and then just toast it a bit and then put some...
We went to a pub a couple of months ago, and there was a guy. You know, I wear that camel-coloured jacket, James. There was a man that kept coming up to me saying, "Where did you get that jacket from? It's really nice. It's so good." I was like, "I don't know. I bought it online or something." And as he was talking to me, I realised that his breath really smelt really bad.
Fucking hell.
And and Lottie, I said, "That guy's breath's really bad." And Lottie said, "Yeah, I know. It smells like periods."
Like periods.
Where
Well,
was
maybe
this guy?
maybe his girlfriend was on her menstrual cycle or something. Who knows?
No, he was gay.
Oh.
Where exactly was this that this
Oh
happened?
God. Who knows where
This
his
was,
mouth is at?
this was in Manchester. This happened.
Can you please tell me where you did get that jacket from?
I'll find out for you. And get,
Stop trying to be all like vague. Give me the details.
What jacket? It's the jacket, the shining jacket?
No.
No, it's like it's a camel one.
Wait, so some gay guy goes up, "Oh, that's quite a lovely jacket. Where'd you pick that up from, Tweety?"
And I said, before I talk to you about it, mate, go and brush your teeth. Barney's is where it's from.
Oh, la-di-da.
Barney's.
I don't know. I just saw it online and liked it, so I bought it. Jesus.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry.
Oh, Jesus.
Just curious.
Barney's
that's all.
New York. Good God, look at that. Somebody's doing well with his model sales.
Is there a
Wait.
Barney's in New York, isn't it?
What'd you sell this morning, Josh? What was it? What piece?
It was actually the very piece that I took to the film festival. It was the red bathroom.
Oh, that must have gotten you a pretty penny. Good for you. Congrats.
God, that jacket must have cost you £115.
All right, don't start. This is all gauche like you go into now. Don't
Very
start.
gauche.
Yeah.
This is Barney's Originals. I found it online.
Watch, he's gonna buy one. He's gonna start dressing like you in a,
I don't know.
like in that movie. What's that movie?
This means it's actually real suede. It's not like fake or something.
Yeah, it's really killed some animal for it. Yeah.
The guy, I know why he got it, because the guy in the picture does actually look like Josh.
Your girlfriend's a vegetarian. You're walking around wearing suede. Like that's just really disrespectful.
I actually like pin her down and make her smell it as well.
Wrap her up in it. Yeah.
As long as it doesn't smell like periods.
Mhm.
Oh, that's true.
That's really distasteful smell.
What periods or suede?
No, this is periods.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not. It smells like James. You know what I mean? If I say skips,
Yeah, of course. I like skips. Delicious.
I like
In
skips.
bathrooms, it's not.
What is that? Is that like some sort of a fish dish?
I like to have a bag of skips before going to bed.
They're like, yeah, no, they're like these like little. See, that's what I'm basing my look off. Even like having
It was weird because Josh kept standing like that all the time as well. And I was
Okay,
thinking,
that makes sense. Now you know why.
yeah, and I was like, look at the size of my crotch. Like,
Uh,
yeah,
Josh.
I was like, look at this now.
I said
what do
to
you make
Josh,
of that?
He had that beard, and I said, have you converted to Islam?
Well, it is a good beard.
That's Josh, basically.
I'm gonna get my hair cut like that as well. You know, these are skips. They're just crisp prawn cocktail.
Yeah, see, I knew it was something fish related.
But yeah, they do smell a bit like periods, but they're very nice.
Well, yeah, but Rob Ager has those on a toasted cheese sandwich, and he says, this reminds me of my last girlfriend.
It makes you think he doesn't know what a vagina tastes like if he says it tastes like a cheese sandwich. It's an interesting.
But then he puts loads of tomato ketchup on the sandwich as well, and he bites into it. And he says, that's how I like my girlfriend, bleeding.
Oh,
Stop.
yeah, that's
It's not passionate. That's just sick.
sick in the head. Joshua Anderson says, I'm in a beautician bar with my girlfriend, and it smells like burnt poo.
Interesting.
Which is I've never seen him comment on the show before, so
Yeah.
I like that our discussion has prompted that.
Welcome. Actually, you know, I like the way a hair salon smells. A burnt hair smell. It's not a
What,
disturbing.
you like it smelling like burnt shit?
No, it doesn't smell like burnt shit. It smells like a bit like because they're putting the hair in the stuff.
You're probably going too much of a classy type of.
Yeah, that's right. A good friend of mine, he's a heterosexual hairstylist. So when I go to get my hair cut, which I did
Which
just
is really important to Voltaire that he's heterosexual.
It's very rare to find one of those.
well, yeah, because he does women's hair. How many guys who do women's hair are heterosexual? Seriously, they're mostly
Probably like 1 in 10. But
yeah, right.
But like
I know 2 people.
they're geniuses because they get to like just rub.
Oh my God, I've gone to the hairstylist conventions with him. He told me, "Come with me, you'll meet women." And my God, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, but you come across probably as like a big gay.
No, I don't come across as gay at all. Because as soon as I see a woman, I whip out my erection and say, "I'm not gay."
Hey, check this out. Look, I'm not gay.
Clearly,
I've
heterosexual.
heard that in the Orange County area, like about 9 out of 10 people would guess you were a gay.
No,
If they see you in the street, for instance, because it's partly just due to your impeccable fashion sense, which if a man is like really finely aware of fashion and everything, immediately people think they're gay. But in your case, it's not that. It's just
Well, I'm not gay. I'm like that. Well, fashion.
there's a certain type of guy who can dress well and not come off as gay. You know what I mean? There is what you're talking about does exist, James. But yeah, like Josh, he dresses.
No, but the way I dress, people immediately think like 100% heterosexual. That's a guy who likes, jugs
Vagina.
from the Bristol area.
Sure.
Who's,
oh boy.
Can I just say, the week before I was there,
Uh-huh.
I do think that there was a sort of like a smell of something in the air, like cheese sandwich gone wrong or some creation. There were maybe too many onions, and there had been a visitor there prior to me. I don't know if Josh is willing to describe who came, or
Did she come over to your place after you went to visit her? Oh God.
Yeah,
Claudia, I'm surprised you permit this sort of thing. God damn.
She came. They are basically more friendly with each other.
Okay, well that works, I guess. Whatever. Good for you, Josh.
We were supposed to.
We had a great time.
Yeah, we had a great time. I said, let's go swimming, just get our bikinis on and stuff. We'll go swimming and that.
Yeah, you just wanted to get tips the entire time.
Yep.
are you talking about Anna?
Yeah, I just thought.
No, but Anna said, "I'm sorry, if I go swimming, my boobs might just come out of my, bikini, and I don't want that to happen." Okay.
I said,
Josh was like, "That sounds great.
That's fine. Don't worry about it."
Like if one of them accidentally goes into my mouth whilst I'm swimming next to you,
It could happen.
It could. Yeah, probably. I think
it's quite normal, really.
If there's any kind of like, the water's moving like at all, or if there's any kind of surf, yeah, certainly.
So, you said that basically when Anna was there, that there was a little bit of a coldness in the air you could feel.
Well, I just briefly, just before we go, and moving off the Anna topic, I just wanted to ask Voltaire whether he would attend. If Charlotte had a book out and was doing a book tour in LA, whether Voltaire would go.
Yeah, sure.
If it's a book like The Stand or something by Stephen King, like 600 pages long,
100 pages long. Yeah.
I would probably skim through it.
I don't. You know what? I think The Stand is actually more like 1,200 pages long.
I read that book. It's a nice book to read, though. It's an easy read. Stephen King, for all his whatever, his writing is easy to get through.
Yeah, it's not like Dostoevsky or something.
Fuck off. Easy to get.
It's easier to read his work than say Tolkien or something.
If you're into it, and to be fair, Voltaire is a voracious reader, or has been at least.
I used to be before I went to law school. Absolutely.
So yeah, he would absolutely go, Charlotte.
Yeah.
I know I know you're trying to find a way to find out Voltaire's real identity, but
I don't read that much anymore. I did read the because I didn't want to wait for the next Game of Thrones season for this House of Dragons. I read the House of Dragons book recently, and that's the first book I've actually read for pleasure in a while. I don't enjoy it as much as I used to.
Probably because you're reading a lot for your work. So.
I think so. I used to be from age like 8, from like age 9, something like that. I always had a book with me. Always was reading something, but as soon after law school, it just killed it because of all the reading, I suppose.
Did your parents find it strange that you were reading things like, are you a gay man?
Yes.
When you're age 10 and things like that.
Right. They were confused by that.
Because I went round to my great uncle's and he had books about that, like that. I'm not joking either. They were called things like, "Are you that kind of gentleman?" It's like, when you're in the changing rooms with other men, do your eyes occasionally wander?
Oh, I tell you what, you just tell you what I'm sick of, right? I take my son swimming every Saturday, and for 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, we do it. And tell you what, I'm sick of seeing old men just freely walking around with a knob and bollocks out.
Yeah,
it's really annoying me.
The older they are, the more free they are with that too.
It's like one guy does it
in the swimming pool.
No, in getting changed afterwards or before. It's like,
surely that's to be expected.
Well, for a second, yeah. But this is what I'm saying is this guy, right? He's there every fucking Saturday. He has a shower, right? And then wanders off with no, like, he hasn't prepared a towel just outside the shower to wrap around himself. He just walks off, dripping wet, with his fucking old dangly balls and penis out, looking at himself in the mirror. He went and weighed himself naked.
Well, that's the proper way to do it, you know.
Yeah, but come on, I mean,
That way, has he got a big dong? Is that why he's proud of himself or something? What's
probably
that?
not Voltaire. It's just
I said he's
He
not an
doesn't care.
asshole. All he needs to do is, like, you know, pop his clothes on and take off a few whatever ounces or whatever. It's like, Jesus Christ. It really
yeah. But
annoys-
when I used to go to the swimming pool and things like that as a youngster, like once everybody would just shower with their shorts on, you know. This kind of thing is just clearly a more modern thing, and I don't know if it's more specific to your area or even.
Or
Really
modern.
is. Yeah, but you don't. I've never really been to the swimming pools with anyone where, because nowadays, especially, they have unisex changing rooms, and I mean, so that kind
Where
of.
do they have unisex changing
No,
rooms?
they don't.
Where, like Germany or some shit?
And they do. They do where I used to live. I mean, they
Wait,
didn't
my
have
sister's
like.
just come back from
Are you
Germany.
sure you weren't just in a school? Like, wandering around, like,
No, I'm talking about
One of the
the,
schools you haven't
the
been
changing
out.
rooms for the swimming baths. Obviously, there's cubicles where people go and have their own privacy, but yeah, it was
No,
all
they're not.
together between men and women.
mixed. Never mixed.
You know, Will Graham, I bought the Garth Marenghi book and I haven't gotten to it.
People like walking around completely naked in the swimming baths, changing room seems a bit much to me. So, but
All right, well, it happens. I mean, you know.
if I was you, Josh, I'd actually like say, do you mind? You know, I'm here with my son, and we're trying to like have a pleasant experience, and you're just basically wandering around looking like an obese piece of shit.
Oh, come on.
The thing is, he's not obese. He's like
No,
really
right then.
spindly old man. Like,
Well, then say to him, "How about I take you outside and I'll, you know, finish this." If
Like
don't
when you
put
say
some
old
shorts
man,
on.
is he like old man, like so old he doesn't give a fuck about anything anymore? Is that kind of
If I were you, I would just kick him really hard in the balls in the swimming pool whilst you're both naked. Then grab his hair and then
you
slam
old
his face,
twat, put some pants on.
slam his face into the
yeah,
floor
he's
and say, "How about that? How about that for you, you
he's,
old
he's,
twat?"
he's in his 70s, I would say. Yeah, definitely.
Oh Jesus!
I think
You know
should
what?
be
He might
beaten
have something
senseless.
off with him then if he's just hanging around lounging naked. What are you gonna do? You know, just tell your son, "Eyes down, son." You know, or look at you, just get dressed.
Well, he never asks, and I mean, he's just like, I don't think he actually, you know, notices it like I do, obviously, but it's just like, I get you need to be naked if you're getting changed and having a shower. and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
Just fucking like
Lounging.
have a bit of forethought and like put a towel next to the shower, and you know, I don't know, it just annoys me.
How old's your boy now? 3, something like that.
He's 4 in January.
He's not really doing anyone any harm, so I'd just try and avoid any.
What do you mean? It's very traumatizing for poor Josh to see this old man's knob whenever he's there.
I just don't.
I think he's more concerned for his son.
Well, that it's also the old. This old man looks a lot like me, so that's the problem. Like, I don't like the idea of.
So it's cathartic or something?
Change the whole thing into like a scene from The Shining already.
He just looks like I'm looking into my future, and I don't like it. That's what it is.
Well, it just sounds like he's kind of not quite all there in a way.
No, I think he is. Also, I mean, Voltaire, you're like a gym goer and stuff. Have you ever gone to the gym, right? Public gym that you pay to go to? Worked out, gone for a swim, had a shower, come out, and then had a full facial shave in the changing room.
So there's gym culture where there's guys who do all their business at the gym. You know what I mean? Like that's part of their routine. They come, they take a shit, they go work out, they shower, and they shave there, believe it or not. So yes, I have seen that if you go in the morning.
But you don't do it.
Absolutely. I'm in it. I don't even change in the gym. I go in my gym clothes and jump from my car to the gym, out of the gym, back to my car, back home and shower. I'm not spending any time in those places. Every time I've gone into the locker room, like to go take a piss or something, somebody shit the place up. Yeah. And some of these guys who work out, they have these concentrated diets and all this weird shit they take. It always stinks. I just no, thank you. In and out.
There was a guy in there on Saturday. This Saturday just gone. Old man again. While I was undressing my son to go to swimming, he was stood in the area over there. There's an open bathroom, and he was stood in the mirror by a sink, swilling his mouth out, going. I was like, I'm gonna knock the guy out in a minute.
Yeah.
It was really upsetting. I thought this is just typical of something that James would do in here.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and then he was actually being sick.
He was like retching and going, like snorting, retching, coughing, spitting.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So some people with no shame out there.
You were taking your son in the gym.
Yeah, for swimming.
Oh, I thought it meant you. I could imagine you putting your son on steroids and stuff. So.
Oh yeah.
Get him started on creatine early.
That's right up my alley. Yeah.
Well, you get weird people going in gyms in your area, I think.
There's just a lot of weird people.
No, and like Gary says, homeless
okay.
people do buy the memberships for, so they can shower.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's like massively occurring in the Lancaster
I don't know,
area.
man. There's a guy in the parking lot of my office area in this truck, and he's always there because I work here late, and he's always there late, and he's there in the morning. You know what I mean? And I'm convinced he's living out of his truck, and I would imagine that he goes to the gym to shower now and again. He has a cheap membership at some gym or something like that. I don't know. It happens.
It's possible. But I don't think that's a massive thing that's happening in Lancaster, causing people to retch.
No, there you go.
In the toilets, and then also older gentlemen to just go around parading their balls. Which
the guy who's parading, I honestly think that there's some guys who are kind of oblivious, but they're just literally lounging and taking more time than they should. Those are guys who like being naked around other men because they get off on it. There's just no way they don't.
I agree.
No way.
Yeah.
Because you're very conscious as a man. Because when your dick's hanging out in the air in a strange place, you know what I mean?
Well, apparently I hear the same thing from the women's change room. There's a lot of old women go into these change rooms, just get naked, and just hang around.
Sit there.
They
You
just
sit there with the legs wide open.
Oh.
sag
You
your
just
tits
sat
out.
there like they're depressed, and they should be.
It's just
wait. You mean the young hot women don't do that? They're not lounging around the locker room naked. That really destroys all my dreams. That shatters.
Christabel does do it quite a lot now.
I've been working on a hole in the wall, like Porky's.
Like Porky's, yeah.
And it's not happening. I can't see any action going on.
That's terrible.
Yeah, but it'd be a bit sick to start doing that and then not only putting your penis through it, but also your son's.
You had to take it.
Jesus.
You bastard. You bastard.
And then that big fat woman grabs it. Come on.
What big fat woman? The woman that sat there naked.
Introducing your son to a masculine rite de passage in the most grotesque manner. Next thing, you'll be walking down some fields to the outskirts of town and all laying down at this drainage ditch underneath the motorway and all going, come on then, let's have a massive wank fest.
Not everyone's
But it hurts.
Not everyone's experience of youth is the same as yours, James. None of us.
It was my idea. I don't know who came up with the idea. I didn't come up with it.
It sounds like your idea.
Yeah, I don't know, James, what's wrong with you as a man to be thinking about this Porky scene, but substituting a 4-year-old in for the man. You know, I mean, come on, man.
What is
Really?
that?
No, I'm just.
You can imagine the old lady from the film doing it to the 4-year-old. This is terrible, James. I mean, really.
No, I'm just warning. I'm warning Josh because it could happen.
This might be the worse than the time you said about my penis falling in a dancing woman's mouth.
No, like the
disabled woman's mouth.
This is stuff that I come from. I come from Ripley, Derbyshire, and a lot of this stuff is just
happening.
by, you know.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in a rugby class, and there was one lad who was definitely troubled. You know, his whole family were troubled.
This is you.
And I wasn't coming from as much of a rough background as him, so it's not all his fault in a way. But I just remember one time there's this one lad knocked to the floor. Next thing I saw this trouble guy just with his trousers, his shorts down below his knees and his pants and his actual ass on this guy's face. And I just thought to myself, fucking hell, this is the last straw. Like,
The last straw, really.
what am I doing here? Like,
It's good though.
that's horrendous. No, but it was horrendous. And I just thought,
That sounds like something I would have done.
yeah, but all you're thinking at that point in that age is just survival and kind of, I'm glad it's not me. But God, that really was debased.
That kind of stuff does happen, in locker rooms and stuff, Like
Yeah,
there's these
why?
hazing
Why just
incidences.
happened? That was definitely like somewhat gay. There was something.
Yeah. So I think the gay thing, doing these gay things to others, is a form of dominance. Is gay. I remember somebody wanted me to join a fraternity in college, and they wanted to do all kinds of gay naked stuff, and I'm like, fuck that. I'm not doing any of that.
That wasn't just a way of like making someone feel terrible. It was bullying, but it was also
It's dominating.
sick and a bit gay.
Look, I put my ass
for
and
sure.
balls in your mouth. And also, it is gay. It is latently homosexual.
Well, it's
They
like
wanna
something
do
must
that.
have happened to them for them to do that. And I remember somebody saying about this guy, yeah, his dad gave his sons like tattoos. We're talking about like
What the fuck are you on
11-year-olds. I'm talking about the one who sat on him. And he was one of the ones who came under the pipe with me. He threw the pipe under the motorway, and then there was the masturbation session.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm talking about this is his kind of background. Like it
was diaried in.
And he was saying his dad gave him a tattoo in his backyard.
Oh my God.
When he was like probably not even a teenager even. I mean, that's insane. But I'm just saying, Josh, don't do stuff like that if you
Don't
want.
get your son a tattoo in the backyard.
I never told you about the time that in high school we were sat in the changing room, and our teacher, physical education teacher, Mr. Fisk, or Frisky Fisk as everyone used to call him, because he had very, very short shorts, and he'd put his leg up on the side to take the
Oh,
register,
Jesus.
and his like balls would fall out.
This is on purpose too. Like, when you stuff you saw as a kid, you realize now if you were an adult, you'd know what you were doing. You know what I mean? Sorry, go ahead, John.
And he was stood taking the register, and one of my friends convinced another friend to creep under the benches and get behind Mr. Fisk and turn the lights off so that the whole room went dark. And when he did this, my other friend who went and turned the lights off was unknowingly followed by the other friend. As he turned the lights off and Mr. Fisk went, for fuck's sake, and turned the lights back on, my other friend, in front of Mr. Fisk, completely ripped down the other friend's shorts and left him, exposed in front of the teacher. And everyone was, everyone had a real good laugh about that.
Oh, that's pretty funny. That's just hijinks. That's just good fun.
That is good.
Well, when I was like literally 11, like my teacher, Mr. Giles, who we had for reception or whatever, or form class, like he'd be like this chemistry teacher would be like, all right, everybody then. James, yes, sir. And he'd be right, and all the girls would sit up front, and he'd always be like very friendly with them. But then one time I remember seeing him, and he was sat at the front, and there was like you could see it was all wooden, and then there was like the gap underneath the desk, and his legs were like kind of splayed, and he still wore flares in the 80s, and like then there was like a split where the crotch was, and there was literally like something like really pink hanging out, and it was just like, I mean, it was I think he may have been wearing pink underwear, or it may have been his ball. And then like one girl who did speak to him quite a bit said, "Sir, we can see something,
We can see your bollocks
and stuff." Yeah, and it was like.
And then what did he say? Do you like it?
What do you make of that?
I don't know. It was just. I remember literally seeing it and thinking, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, gave you ideas.
Yeah, what the fuck am I tingling downstairs for looking at this?
So it's like, how can a teacher be in this kind of state? Like, but the thing is, we draw pictures of him. Like, well, I would, and a few people who were good at cartoons and stuff, and he'd be wearing, just ridiculous 70s shirts and those 70s type ties.
Have I told
Well,
you
that's okay.
one of our woodworking teachers, like a tech teacher, he design technology. He was struggling to get his feed up onto the board, like from the computer, and he managed to do it. And then as he did it, a massive image of what he must have been looking at, clearly, obviously, because it was coming from his computer, of just porn on the screen. And that guy was like fired the next week.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable.
I would expect so.
That would have been okay in the 80s, or probably.
What, your teacher coming in with a mag and going, have a look at this, lads?
No, I remember in PE, it was related to that guy I was telling you about earlier, the rough background child, and he brought in a mag, and it was like really.
I'm sorry. What is a mag? What is that?
A magazine? Really
Oh,
graphic
okay.
porn, and it had lots of like really hairy women and men, and very
Nice.
tanned,
I like
doing
that.
stuff. And I was like looking at it like,
What kind of stuff? What kind of stuff?
well, it was just showing, full penetration and everything. And I was just like, this looks like a bit disgusting. I was just like,
I didn't
Will
know a
you
lady had
will you
hair down
avert-
there.
will you avert this from my eyes, please? It wasn't like Razzle, Gary. It was like something
That's a
important.
good name
from
for a porn magazine.
It was imported from like bloody Bulgaria or something. It was just.
Oh no! It was like sort of like snuff type magazine where you're like, I don't even think these people knew that.
Yeah,
they were
see,
being,
these Eastern Europeans, they get into some weird
Yeah.
shit.
like, I didn't even know this was. They didn't even look like they know this was being photographed at the time. That kind of.
It was a well-produced magazine. It was glossy, but
Right.
it was just too much information for me to be taking at that
Good
age.
production
And I was-
quality, though, from what you could tell.
Like for me, I found some disposed ones underneath the bush
Everybody's found old porn on the roadside.
near where I lived, and that was all those were just like kind of Samantha Fox or the Maria Whittaker or the Page 3 girls and stuff, and it was all
I
fairly
remember
tame.
Samantha Fox.
But that was
I
more
remember
than enough excitement for me. I didn't need.
when I was like 11 years old and I didn't want to go on the computer because I was scared that my history would be seen. I was about 10, 11. I used to get the old Argos catalogue and I'd look at the bra section and I'd just like go mental on that.
Yeah, me too.
Argos didn't sell bras.
Yeah, they did.
Listen, the Victoria's Secret catalog that would come quarterly to the house, every young boy back in the day was jerking into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Different world.
I actually did that. I mean, a lot of my dad's stuff, magazines. He had Stern magazine from Germany and stuff, and books
Stern
on
magazine?
World War II and everything. I looked through all these pictures of concentration camps and things. And that's when I really got into it. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what? Then my dad was like, "What are you doing? That's not. Those people aren't alive." And I was like, I thought it was a bloody gangbang.
Before we go,
Hager was gone.
you know Ari Aster, the filmmaker Ari Aster.
Yeah, of course.
He's got
Yeah.
one of his short films is available to watch on YouTube, and it's really weird.
Have you seen Beau is Afraid?
I saw Beau Was Afraid.
I haven't gotten around to it.
This short film it's about a man, a father and a son, and the father comes in and walks in and sees the son masturbating.
Oh, Jesus.
And he's like, oh,
We've all been there.
yeah, and he's been caught, and he's like, oh, and it's a bit.
But then you
embarrassing.
carry on for about 5 minutes with your dad just what
Yelling at you.
Yeah, that's right. Keep doing it.
The dad comes in and sits down.
Keep that rhythm up. Keep that rhythm up.
Talk to him about it, and he's like, it's all natural.
You're a man now.
Blah 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 blah. And then he leaves the room, and it's all nice. It's like a nice kind of father-son moment. And then it zooms in, but then you see that the picture that the son was looking at was actually a picture of his dad.
Jesus, Ari Aster. Fuck.
That's just deliberate shock tactics. Sure.
The whole film is about how the son is like basically gaslighting his dad and like making him do sexual acts on him, like abusing his own dad. It's
sick.
It's a
What do you mean? It doesn't actually show him doing anything with his.
He does.
I really liked his movies. I can't believe this guy did
You
that.
need to see this film. It's really good. I think it's called Meet the Johnsons.
It's really good. It's really good
That's
in what way? Like, because
fantastic.
it's so sick or actually good, well done?
There's like a scene where the dad is giving his son a blowjob.
Jesus Christ, Josh!
Seriously, I can't believe I've never told you about this before.
How is this guy allowed a career after this?
And and the mum finds them.
He should have
And
been
it's
locked up.
like in a barbecue scenario, and the mum finds them, and she's like shocked and horrified beyond belief. Because
He's one of my favorites. Well, the two movies, I really like both of them, but
this has
Jesus.
been going on now. It's like the son is like now.
That's called the strange thing about the Johnsons.
When did he do this? Before he did Hereditary or after?
Before. It's like 45
How do you have a
minutes.
career after making something like that?
You should see the film. You should see it.
I don't want to see a gay incest fucking film. No, I really don't.
Come on, it's pretty funny.
Gay incest is funny. Gay homosexual incest,
Well, it depends how it's depicted. I mean,
where the father is the victim of the incest.
You sound like Paulie Walnuts or something.
obviously the actual activity is not acceptable, is it? It's
Well, I mean, look, it's an
inappropriate, I would
interesting
say.
concept because usually it's the parent that's abusing. In this case, it's the child who's abusing the parent.
That's an underrated area that we need to address, I think.
Yeah, children abusing parents.
It's,
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a great film.
It is on YouTube. It's
Oh, really?
29 minutes though.
the gay incest film's not a great film, Josh, isn't that?
It's really, it's worth watching. It's only half an hour, is it, James?
Yeah.
Yeah, watch it. You should watch it tonight.
This video may be
I
inappropriate
should
for
watch
some
it tonight.
users. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's
James is
worth-
going to.
it's-
James is going to watch it for sure. Yeah.
It's worth it just for the comedy of it. It's just ridiculous, really.
He is a talented director. I'll give
Must
him
film,
that.
if anything.
I mean, I even like Midsummer. I really like. In fact, I like Midsummer better than Hereditary, believe it or not. But
Well, you're wrong, but yeah, that's fine.
I understand that. I respect anybody. I understand anybody think I'm wrong about that, but I really enjoy Midsummer.
It's rare that you find somebody who loves Midsummer and Hereditary, actually.
Well, because the guy's a good director. Like you can
Oh,
tell
come
when he's.
on. I mean, what a massive generalization, Josh. Come
Well,
on.
it's
It's
A lot of
rare.
people hate
Like,
Midsummer.
How many people have been asking?
I've asked at least 4 or 5 people, and they've said they either
Okay,
hate.
but based on those people, you can't make a generalization.
Well, James, you don't like Midsummer, but you like
You don't like
Hereditary.
Midsummer.
I do like Midsummer.
Yeah, I don't remember you saying that.
I thought
remember the opposite.
I actually prefer Midsummer to Hereditary, personally.
Wow, really?
Oh,
Well,
now
there you
you're
go.
just trying to steal my hot take. You see, you don't really believe
Well,
that.
people either love Hereditary and hate
No, I
Midsummer.
do.
Midsummer.
I don't think like Midsummer is a perfect film by any means. But if you watch the director's cut, the 3-hour version, it is better.
It's enjoyable.
It's sort of like, I don't know. It's just because of the intense sunniness and the.
He knows
atmosphere
how
of
to
it.
create a mood. That guy, he knows how to.
It's
He does it in
disturbing.
Hereditary too. Yeah.
And yet you can kind of somehow enjoy this weird sunny atmosphere despite these things going on. And it's
I'm
just-
disappointed that he made a gay homosexual incest film. That's disappointing.
Is your estimation of him just plummeted? Did it?
I mean, that yeah, it has, because that's a very that topic of itself is. I mean, I get it. He's a bit of a surrealist, I guess, and apparently Beau's Afraid is very surreal from what I've heard. But that kind of subject matter does disappoint me. I have to say, I don't see any value in that kind of subject
We'll
matter.
watch it before you judge it.
I suppose that's true. I'll give it a shot. If I get sick to my stomach, I'll stop. But
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, okay. But yeah,
I can imagine it doesn't. It's not like some kind of, gross out
no, it's
80s
not.
or 90s horror film type.
gross out. The boy's father gives him a blowjob. How? What do you mean? Of course, it's a gross out.
No, he gives.
I mean, have you seen the film? What's it
He
called?
gives- he
Happiness.
He gives his dad a blowjob.
Oh, that makes it better somehow.
Yeah, but I'm sure you don't see it like with.
Pitching, not pitching. But I think everybody generally is kind of in the middle on Beau is Afraid. No, there's not really anybody I've come across online or in person that have been like absolutely loves it.
No,
But-
I haven't heard that either.
But at the same time, there's not many people.
I think Gary makes a good point about in Midsummer, how it starts off with like this almost comically unbelievable like bleakness at the start. And it's very dark, literally. And then everything throughout the rest of the film is this incredible sunniness where you think, is this all in the mind, of say the Florence Pugh character, maybe, who knows? I mean, it's obviously got a very hallucinogenic.
I like her too. I like Florence Pugh quite a bit. She's good. She's very good in that movie. She's excellent in that Don't Worry, Darling film.
Well, I like how Midsummer is not. It's not pretentious. It pretty obviously is depicting someone inducted into a cult and then drugs being used to do that, and then how it continues from there to where someone's dressed up as a bear and then burnt or whatever.
And then there's also that very erotic scene where he's making sex on the girl, and all the other women are encouraging him. Like that's terrific. Very erotic.
That's a bit like one of the scenes in Lancaster swimming baths.
Stop.
Pushing the guy's button.
I felt like the start of Midsummer was really effective with the suicide, murder, and then
I think it's ridiculously overblown. It's like, come on, this is insane.
And then how she shoehorns herself into her boyfriend's vacation. He's like, yeah, I guess she's coming. Yeah, that was all rang very true. And
it was all the stuff in Sweden where I was like,
could it possibly be that the truth of what we see at the start is not necessarily what we're shown? You know, like the idea that her sister, who had bipolar, again using that as like, then also suffocates her parents by putting masks and stuff on them and everything, or putting it into their room. I mean, come on, that is pretty grandiose.
I don't know. Look what happened to Josh with his model making competitor when he was bipolar. You never know it sometimes.
Well, he didn't say, I'm going to gas you, did he? I'm going to come round to your house, attach the car exhaust to me with a face mask, and then also...
No, he limited it to threatening legal action.
Funnel it into your room. You can bet on it.
Overly far-fetched to me. I mean, not when you put it up against something like Beau is Afraid, where there's the man in the bathroom.
Well, the man in the bathroom scene is obviously entirely based on reality. I mean, that because the man would literally be able to stand up there.
Yeah, but that's the thing with Beau.
Would position himself.
The thing with Beau is Afraid that I become unstuck on is that, like, it clearly seems like it's not supposed to be really happening. It's like his anxiety overblown, like we're witnessing that. But then by the end of the film, it's like, oh no, this all really did actually happen.
Mm.
That's where I'm.
Well, it definitely happened in some form. It's just his mind inflated it, you know, because there's not literally going to be a guy up there pinned to your ceiling, sort of. That would be pretty impossible to do that with your penis.
I agree with Will that it was just like, it seemed very procedural, Midsummer, for the story. It was just like, yeah, I get it. Like, yeah, they're weird. Like, that was kind of, I didn't get anything else from the film other than, well, these people are a bit strange.
It just felt like a 3-episode Netflix show that had been made into a film. Sometimes that's the problem with a lot of these. I do feel like when films are excessively long, could it have been a TV show?
I think some films would really benefit from being like 2-part, 3-part miniseries. I think I agree with you on that.
But I think other films, you know, do benefit from being longer. Like, but I don't agree with Josh where he says that all films should be long. For instance,
that's just him being pretentious.
I've never said all films.
You know, like The Net with Sandra Bullock. If that was 4 hours, I would be like, no.
That and My Fellow Americans, that should have been 5.5 hours long. But other than that,
yeah, like, if you got a 5.5 hour film, like back in the day, that would have been a 2 VHS set.
That would have been a Stephen King miniseries.
So it is like 2 parts then, even.
Yeah, all right.
So like The Irishman, for example, I think The Irishman would have been better as a 2-part miniseries or a 3-part miniseries.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like, who sits in a cinema really for 3 hours? Let's be honest. Like, I think sometimes it's pushing it. It is pushing it.
Josh does. He brings an empty Gatorade bottle to piss in. He likes to show off. Like, he goes, "Oh, I'm so, you know."
Honestly, like Killers of the Flower Moon was not. It didn't feel like 3.5 hours watching that.
Yeah, but I will say, I think very few films warrant being 3 hours.
If it really didn't feel like a 3.5 hour film, like that's impressive in and of itself. I mean, that's hard to do.
Yeah, but that's Josh talking about his perspective, like his perception of reality. He's not talking about anything which translates to like Mark Commode giving a film review.
It did help that the cinema screening we went and saw the film in, there was only 6 people in it.
Yeah,
Why
you
did that
told
help?
me. You told me for about 45 minutes of the film, you put your jacket on top of your head, and you said, "Yeah, I was listening to the film."
Yeah, I tried to direct the film in my own brain just by just hearing it. Is what I said to you.
But you'd set up a 90s camcorder at the front, just pointed
Like,
at the screen.
Yeah, and I also took a Walkman in to record the audio just so I can walk around listening back to
You
it.
have to sync them up afterwards.
Yeah. But I think the thing with Ari Aster at the minute is with Bowie's Afraid, he basically tells. There's only one additional part of Bowie's Afraid where I just feel like, oh yeah, I get that's interesting. Like I like that, but he basically did the themes better in Hereditary. To me,
Well, I agree on that. I mean, I think that Bowie's Afraid was just a rather indulgent film because they had Joaquin Phoenix on the board, so they go crazy, and they seemingly had a lot of budget to just throw at it. But in the end, what were they really throwing the budget at after the halfway point? It's just all these wood sequences, which are kind of a bit tiresome.
My favorite thing happens in that wood sequence, but I agree that sequence is tiring. Yeah.
What was your favorite?
My favorite bit was when he he's an old man. He comes and he finds these three boys who are like his sons.
Oh yeah.
He's like, you're my sons, and they're like, what happened to mother? And he's like, well, I never had sex, and they're like, well, how do we exist then? And it's like
you said you started crying like uncontrollably,
uncontrollably, and had to leave the room. Yeah.
And then came back in, and then started like crying uncontrollably again.
I said, let's put The Strange Thing About the Johnsons on because I prefer that film.
Fair enough.
But no,
can you just answer Gary's question before we finish? Because
I've not seen Titane. What was that one again?
Titane's worth watching.
Fucking Cars.
Fucking what?
Cars.
Well, it's worth seeing though.
Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah, I know now. Yeah.
I do like the director's cuts of Lord of the Rings, the long ones. I do enjoy those.
I don't think Lord of the Rings films need to be long necessarily, even. When I talk about good films, I'm talking about classic films. Like the Lord of the Rings films are not classic films.
They are.
I think they are.
Bullshit.
They are now.
I think they're masterpieces, truthfully.
I would pay you more. I'd be more impressed if you said The Lovely Bones is a masterpiece by the same director.
That's irrelevant.
Or what about Heavenly Creatures?
Heavenly Creatures is an interesting film.
But that's a masterpiece. The Lord of the Rings films are not a masterpiece.
It is not.
Of course, it is.
It's an interesting film.
It is a masterpiece. It's one of his best films by far. Peter Jackson.
I think District 9 is probably his best film. After
That's
the
not
Lord of the
directed
Rings
by
film.
Peter Jackson.
It's not? What did he have to do with it then?
That's Peter Blomkamp.
Okay, my mistake. Why did I think Peter Jackson had something to do with that?
He produced it.
Oh, he produced it.
Well, I think Peter Jackson's best film is obviously Bad Taste.
I'm not familiar.
That's one of his first ones. It's sort of like a jokey comedy horror, basically.
Serious drama.
With Brain Dead as well.
Aliens that come and you've got to like stomp their heads in or something.
Yeah, a lot of the film seems to be spent with people punching through faces and
yeah.
It's like really over the top. It's a bit like, probably you could argue that Peter Jackson with his first films was influenced by Sam Raimi. There's some
definitely.
There's some similarity.
Definitely, yeah. Hey, what do you think about? What do you think about the Coen Brothers and the fact that it's they're not working together at the minute?
I don't know. Obviously, they've had some kind of falling out, right? That started with the what's it called, the Macbeth, right?
Well, I don't know whether they've had a fallout. It seems like what's happened is that Ethan was that noise just then.
James again. He's trying to be funny.
I didn't even hear anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
It might happen again in a minute. I don't know. But when I think Ethan Cohen basically said, "I want to take a break from films and do stage," and Joel Cohen turn around and, well, I'm going to go and do it.
Well, good for him if that's the case. If one of them wants to get cunty and just do theater, the other one can keep going. But what have they done? What have they since then? It's been Macbeth, and has anything else come out by one of the
Well, let me look it up. Hang on.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Because Macbeth was a big disappointment to me. They didn't bring anything special.
I've not seen it yet, so
you're not missing anything. They filmed it in black and white on a 3:4 aspect ratio, if you can believe it.
Oh, okay. So Ethan's doing a film by himself, too, called Drive Away Dolls, and it comes out next year. It's a comedy caper, it says.
Okay, so they're both doing films individually now. Well, then that implies some kind of dispute. Wow, they're brothers. That's terrible.
But maybe they just want to try and see what it feels like to do it.
Yeah, but that's cunty. I mean, they it's not like they've made one or two good films. They have a library, a catalog of tremendous films. And I don't know what the point of fucking with that formula is, but whatever. I mean, these guys make so much money. Who cares, you know?
The cast of his film seems pretty good, to be fair.
Well, most of the who's in it?
That Margaret Qualley from she was in Leftovers, and she also was in that what's it called? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She played one of the weird girls with the feet.
Mm-hmm.
The dashboard. Pedro Pascal's in it. Matt Damon. Bill Camp, he's really good.
Yeah, I love Bill Camp actually.
Who's Bill Camp? What have I seen him in?
He's Australian. He's Australian, but he does a lot of like independent films. He was in he was in a film that we watched.
Stranger.
No, the one with the McDonald's thing. Compliance. Compliance. Have you seen Compliance?
Oh yeah, I saw you Compliance years ago.
Yeah, with where the girl gets
the McDonald's thing. Yeah.
He plays the guy that makes her give him a blowjob in it.
Ah, okay. Well, that is a legitimately big cast, actually.
Yeah. So, but it is weird that they're doing films separately.
Pedro Pascal and Matt Damon. Interesting.
Could you not hear yourself being played on this speaker of mine?
What are you on about?
I was just playing you on my speaker, but obviously it's not picking up properly.
Playing who?
Playing the audio from this.
Oh. Yeah, Pedro Pascal, I don't know if annoying is the right word, because he is good. He is a good actor. In his interviews, he's annoying. I will say that. But, ever since Game of Thrones, I've enjoyed his work. I think he's good in that stupid video game show on HBO. He's quite good in that, actually. Mandalorian's not really much acting involved, so it doesn't really matter. But, I don't know if I find him annoying necessarily. But in his interviews, he's certainly annoying.
He was good in Last of Us.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Last of Us, he's quite good.
That features.
He was actually really good in that Nicolas Cage film, to be fair.
Which one?
The enormous weight of a massive talent.
Oh, I've not seen it.
It was quite good. It was a really weird film, but he was really good in it.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I agree, Phantom. He is annoying in the interviews.
Anyway, should we all call it a night now?
Yeah. All right, lads.
We all need to go and get a nice glass of lemon juice.
It sounds delightful.
Yeah. So thank you very much, both of you, this week. Thank you, everyone in the chat. And I appreciate Josh coming on. Thank you.
And what about his lady love? Lottie, thank you for being in the background.
Well, yeah, thank you again. Thank you. Thank you, Lottie. Thanks again, Josh, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. So thank you, everyone. Bye for now. Bye.
Yeah. All right.
See you in the trees.